Oh shit! Hold on. Okay, we are recording. I did see the red light.
Put your pussy lips on live, I'll give you $1,000.
Microphone check 1 2 1 2. If you don't know this podcast, it's cool. Ladies and gentlemen, Caitlin and Bruce, I am your host, Untitled Chapter. Welcome to the Judgement podcast. And to my left is Vince.
Hello.
Off camera is my homeboy Harold.
What up, though?
We will not be having Macho and Ricky here because life happens and Macho's probably trying to get some ass. Which
You serious? I mean, like,
no,
we'll
I
get
just
that later.
No. See, our thing is at this here podcast, if you don't show up, we're gonna slander you.
Oh, nice. I'm just a star guest at this point. So
Yes, you're pretty much a guest, just like white people.
Yeah. Hello. How you doing? name's Mike. How you doing? Michael Jeffrey.
That was racist.
You're welcome.
Oh boy, how's everybody feeling?
With both hands. My tongue sometimes.
Usually with my
I was
face.
talking
and my
about
kneecap.
mentally.
Oh! Same.
How are you, man? How's your mental
I'm
health?
good.
Thank you, sir. How about you?
I've been all right, man. I've been all right. Managing the
That's-
baseball team ain't easy.
Yeah, I forgot you paintball god. Harold, the benevolent asshole. We really gonna talk about that. So off camera we were talking, had topics. First things first. Has anyone seen? You said you didn't see it.
I'm familiar with it, but I've never seen it now.
Well, it was a movie that came out in 1995, right?
4.
1994. Sheesh, I was 8 years old.
Bruh, I was only 3.
Yeah, I was 8 years old. In fact, I was on my way to Japan.
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 Yeah, I was in. Yeah, I think I was in. Yeah, 94 to 99.
Yeah, then you Japan.
I was in Japan. So it came out around that time. But yeah, we're talking about a scene that happened in that movie as to where a 32-year-old woman kissed an 11-year-old boy. Now, when I hear shit like that, I think about the double standard that comes with the horseshit movement. Yes, horseshit. Me Too movement is horseshit. Point blank, period. They started off with good intentions, but now it's just a mainstream media circus, pretty much.
That's how most movements happen.
Yeah, kind
They
of like
start
Black
off
Lives
good.
Matter.
Yeah, they start off good and then they go off the rails.
Yeah. Aren't they ran by 2 black women and a white guy?
Yep.
And those 2 black women just so happen to be gay?
Yep.
Then they oh, never mind. No, fuck that. They can eat a dick. Oh, wait.
They wouldn't.
It's not in their diet. This is not in their diet. I'm sorry.
They're vaginitarians.
Vaginitarians? Vegetarians?
Alright, I'm head out. Hey,
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
they're vegetarians.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
I like that word, vegetarian. You're a vegetarian.
I actually didn't know all that information, so that's actually kind of new to me.
And they're terrible humanitarians as well.
Oh, goodness.
How the hell you spent $3.2 million on houses off the deaths of black men
Buying large mansions.
and just bought one
Probably
in an all-white neighborhood,
1.5 Lamborghinis.
but yet Black Lives Matter?
Buying large mansions, yeah.
Buy large mansions, yes,
That was one of our Facebook friends. He knows who he is.
pretty much. Buy large mansions. BLM stands for buy large mansions, because that bitch spent about $4 million on that combined.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, bro.
The
It's
fact that
people.
you knew who they were because they don't show up to rallies.
Never.
They only show up when it's a huge publication there, like the BET Awards. It's amazing how it's a black entertainment, but it's ran by a white man as well. But that's none of my motherfucking business.
Yeah, you wish you had some fucking tea.
Right.
But to be honest with you, bro, I'm gonna look at it like this. I'm gonna tell you like it is, right? So
If you don't, you shouldn't be on this podcast.
right. So you already know I'm on a paintball team. I'm a lieutenant of a paintball team, right?
Right.
And consistently, I go every weekend. And we have prospects that always question, why isn't the leader here? Why is the lieutenant always here, not the leader? But as you can see, the leader always does things behind closed doors. The leader doesn't always have to be there. They just need to be there when it's appropriate. So, not defending their case, but that's why I would assume why they don't always show up to every single rally. They don't need to be there.
That's the thing. They don't even show up when it's appropriate. They don't show.
Okay.
This is the first time I've really seen their face. I knew who ran it. I knew it was a 3-headed monster.
I never knew that.
I knew it was 2 black women and a white man.
Should I be paying more attention to shit like this, or should I just continue being oblivious?
No, you should really pay attention to this because they're profiting off our deaths.
Okay.
They don't give a damn about the black man. They wanted more Zaya Wades in the household. They want these little black boys to be acting like little black girls. Like, if you look at their mission statement before they changed it, they said they wanted to get rid of Western style household, which involves the mother and the father. If you look up Western style households, and they wanted to replace it with more women.
But that's like it's like a large amount of women are running families right now, and we have what we have.
Yeah.
Boys who can't control their emotions and always have to jump the gun.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
That fixes that.
Yep.
Well, you're not wrong. I mean, I have noticed an influx of people always doing something with their emotions rather than just actually thinking logically.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. They say that they say that they want to have to get rid of toxic masculinity, but where's it coming from? The majority of
no fathers.
Yeah, the majority of the toxically masculine men that they're talking about don't have fathers in their lives. So how is it possible that they're learning to be toxically masculine if they don't have anyone to look at except for women? Like the majority of like when they're growing up and going to school, the majority of the teachers are women. Mm-hmm. They're. I mean, I don't know. I mean, how is that? I don't think having more women in the household is going to improve that. And I know there's going to be a lot of people who are going to get angry
and be like, "Yeah, why are you being so misogynistic and not open-minded to the idea of having more women in the household?"
Well, see, that's the thing. We already have more women in the household.
Right. Most of our time is spent with women.
Right.
Exactly.
So how exactly is... I mean, and not to mention the fact that the nature of the behavior of younger boys and younger girls is a bit different. Younger boys have a lot of energy. I know, because I was that younger boy who was all over the place.
That is
still am.
I mean, I pretty much felt like people would always say that I was a bad kid because I wouldn't listen and I would, get up and move. But like, if I were to give you a bunch of meth and tell you to sit down, and every time you got up to move and I took a ruler or a bat and hit you with it, I mean, you'd be bloody and broken, and I mean, I don't know, but you wouldn't be bad, you'd be full of energy. So you're telling me that if a child has abnormally large amounts of energy, that we're just supposed to say that, oh, obviously he's a bad kid, he can't sit down and learn. Unfortunately, that wasn't true. I didn't learn this until I had one of those tests they used to have, the test that they would check to see how smart you were.
Right.
And the standardized tests. And I was way smarter than anyone thought I was supposed to be based off of what they were saying that I was. I never did homework. I just basically sat in class was like, distracted by everything, but I still was taking in the information. So somehow they were saying that I was bad and I wasn't, and they thought I wasn't, smart or anything, and yet all the information was still going directly into my brain. Whenever we had tests, I get like 95, 100 on them all the time. Tests and quizzes always did well. I just never did my homework. It was busy work. I mean, if you're saying that I'm doing homework to prove to you that I can do it, if I do quizzes and tests and I get, A's and B's on them, obviously I know how to do it. So why are you having me do homework doing extra work? That could be free time that I could be doing something else, learning something else.
Yeah, that's true.
But we treat everybody that they have to be treated the same because everybody's not special. And if we do treat somebody special, somebody gets in trouble.
Kind of like women. Women get treated special. The only people that gets in trouble is us.
You're not wrong. It's
I
true.
mean, prime example.
Making OnlyFans, we find out who makes more money.
No, it's not even making OnlyFans. Just look at Johnny Depp.
Oh yeah, everybody at first bashed him, thought they were abusing her.
Right, and she was the abusive one.
Right.
And yet she still continues to get roles.
And not only that, but they have tape of her saying that no one's going to believe you because I'm a woman. And she still is getting that. His career's still messed up.
Right, his career is still messed up, even though she openly admitted to saying that nobody's going to believe you because I'm a woman. But yet all they do is preach, believe all women.
Right.
This is what leads to this double standard, like that kiss. When we was talking about the kiss that I brought up. The fact that nobody is saying nothing to this lady for kissing an 11-year-old boy in a 1995 movie. When people love bringing up old shit and saying cancel this motherfucker because they did it. They tried to do it to DMX for something he said in the song. They tried to do it for Kobe for something he said in the song. They tried to do it to Eminem for something he said in the song. And these were all in the 90s. So how come we don't have that same energy for the lady who kissed an 11-year-old boy in a movie?
Well, to be fair with that, she was an actor, and ideally you want to get the person who wrote the movie, the director, the producer, but not necessarily her. I mean, maybe her a little bit because she still agreed to do it, but it was, I don't know if that, for her, I don't know.
That's logically, you are correct. But who uses logic nowadays? Who uses that?
I do.
Well, of course you do because you brought up a valid point. But nobody else is. Not too many people are going to do that.
It's just blind faith.
But yet, had that been the other way around, that dude would be crucified right now. If it was a 30, pretty much. If it was a 32-year-old man kissing an 11-year-old girl in a 1995 movie, that dude won't have a career. They'll be calling him a pedo. They'll call him a sicko. They'll call him all these things. But when a woman does it, they got so many excuses for her. Well, the director made her do. No, she had to agree to do that.
Yeah, she had to be.
Like, and this is coming from somebody where it's personally happened to me. I was 9 years old, and I lost my virginity to a 23-year-old Japanese woman. But her logic was, if you don't like it, you're gay. And my whole thing was, no, I like it, I just don't want it forced on me. I want to do it at the right time. If it was up to me, I would rather be 35 years old and still a virgin. I would be content with being a 35-year-old virgin. I would, because look what pussy's doing to people now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for dudes who can't even hit it. There's a whole movement behind men that idolize these women and is willing to sell their souls for that.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Pussy is great. But will I sell my soul for it? Fuck no.
Ditto.
Pussy is a natural resource. All you bitches got it. And the only reason I'm saying bitches is because I don't know their names individually.
That's a lot of females.
But
You could say heifer.
No.
Alright.
This generation is full of bitches.
You're not wrong.
They're bitches in every sense of the word. The B, the I, the T, the C, the H, the E, N, the S. Damn near the exclamation point. They're bitches.
You're not wrong.
Like, you gotta say it and let some spit fly out your mouth when you talk about these type of women.
Disgusting.
Like, seriously.
I know, I believe you.
I just want to take a bite out of a fucking cheeseburger and yell out bitch in front of a bitch so she can get this cow meat in her face.
Burgers and bitches.
Right.
Burgers, bitches, and beers.
Right. It's just like, that shit irritates me. And before these motherfuckers get out of hand and shit, talking about, he said, oh, what? I said, all of y'all are bitches.
I don't think that you're. I don't think that makes it better.
It's not meant to be better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
oh,
it's not.
Okay.
It's just like how.
I'm sounding like them right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, damn.
It doesn't make sense. It makes sense to them, but it doesn't make sense to everybody else.
I basically sound like a female right now. It only makes sense to me.
And that's all that matters.
And that's all that matters. Feelings over facts.
It's true. I mean, okay. You want to talk about that? All right. So we'll talk about this real quick, right? So my buddy's girl, right? And he knows who he is, and she knows who she is. We were having a conversation one time. We were talking about self-defense, and we were having this conversation because of the fact that I showed Armand, my buddy, this picture. And it was a meme. It was something talking about domestic abuse, and I had a giggle at it, and so did he, because we know to do some dumb shit like that. And you know what I'm saying. And she, being a feminist, didn't like it, and she had to go to the south end of the joke and was like, "Oh, you think that's funny? Domestic abuse isn't funny." I'm like, "Okay, here we go." So first and foremost, it's a joke. We know it's not funny, but things we joke about seriously, it's funny regardless. Dead baby jokes. Everybody laughs at a dead baby joke. Some people do, some people don't. Everybody laughs at a Jewish joke.
That's why it's a such thing is called a dark sense of humor.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
People don't understand dark humor.
And not only that, but most people who say that's not funny, they tend to eliminate the rest of that sentence, and that is to me. Someone finds it funny.
It's just not funny.
It's just not you.
Right. That's the point.
Or
and,
personalize
I showed it to my buddy, who is basically my brother. We've known each other for 10 plus years now. We, at the time, he knows we have dark jokes. She knows we have dark humor. But then she wanted to be all like, I want to see it. And I was like, oh, God, here we go. So, kicked off the conversation about self-defense. She came up with a scenario. What if, and I already knew this was going to be bad when you started for the what if. What if a pregnant woman came up and hit you? And I was like, okay.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Okay, I hit her with this though, because depending on how to me, self-defense is depending on how somebody tries to attack me. I was like, open or a closed hand. She's like, what's the difference? Open hand, she does not intend to hurt me initially. She may try to slap me because maybe I may have said something or did something.
That's no excuse.
Yes, that is the point. But this is what I was explaining to her because apparently she didn't get it in the first place. So, open or closed hand, what's the difference? Because if you're trying to open hand slap me, I can easily just grab your hand and hold you and calm you down. Closed fist means you're ready to go and it's all bets are off. You know what I'm saying? She said, okay, open hand. All right, I'll just pull her hand down, hold it down, and try to calm her down or get somebody to help me out. But if she's pregnant, what if she falls and she has a miscarriage because of that?
The question that I have is, why was she putting her baby in danger by hitting someone who's probably about 3 times her strength?
That's what I hit her with after she asked that. Why would somebody do that? She's like, I don't know, maybe because she's angry or maybe she's upset. I'm like, okay, but
what if I was upset? What if I was angry?
Exactly. She didn't have answers for these, so she didn't have.
Feminists don't have answers for logic.
So on top of that,
hold on, time out. I'm about to go on a rant. You can't suck that much dick and be a feminist.
Bye, y'all.
Seriously. You can't suck that much dick and be a feminist. She sucked the spirit animal out of me. Like, seriously?
You lost a few power levels.
Vince, I didn't even know my spirit animal was a snow leopard until she sucked my dick.
I'm happy my dick knows what makes it happy. I'm happy. If a female irritates me, my dick just is like, nah,
that
we're
just
good.
really irritated me now that I think about it and I know about the situation.
Right. I will finish this, Vince. I'll just let him rant.
No, but knowing who they are, you can't suck that much dick and be a feminist. Her mouth is a room full of Richards. Like, seriously, what the fuck? You are a sperm donor and a bank at the same time.
Man, I think you're in the wrong line. This is the
her
sperm
face.
donor.
Right. Like, seriously, your face gets painted whiter than a Brady Bunch episode.
This chick is pasty.
Like, seriously. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
But the ending of the story basically is the kicker, bro. It's the kicker. So, first and foremost, the open-handed slap. Obviously, detain the woman. Try to protect yourself. Closed fists. Yes, there will be blows traded. Now, then she came to me. Then she said, "What if she falls and has a miscarriage due to the fight?" Then guess what? That's not on me. That's on her for putting her baby in danger.
Yep.
So she can't sue me for her baby dying because of the result of the fact that she attacked me. So then she was like, okay, so what if you guys are fighting and the cops come and they break it up, but they don't know who started it? I was like, congratulations, you just walked into the door of self-defense class. Now, me knowing what I know, being a first-degree black belt in Taekwondo, you have defensive marks on you indicating the fact that you were being attacked. How would the cops know? They would do tests. They take you to a research facility. They test where you've been hit, how hard you were hit, and they see that. Now, the attacker mainly has bruising across the knuckles and fingers on their hands, whatever they were using. Defender would have more bruises across the forearms, hands, back of the hand, and across maybe the biceps as well, depending on where they were getting hit at too. So when they do those tests and see that I have more bruising on my forearms than on my knuckles, that means I wasn't the aggressor. She was. She would have more abrasions, more cuts, bleeding around the knuckle area than I would. You see what I'm saying? So she's like, okay, so what then? I'm like, well, guess what? She's going to jail for, first of all, child endangerment. And if the baby dies, that is actual, I think, what I forget how it goes. Is it first degree murder or third degree murder?
It might be
second degree. Because I always mix up the degrees. I don't know. I think
first and second degree are the worst.
Because the first degree is you premeditated it and you committed it, right?
The second degree is you
were thinking about doing
it, but I think it's like you didn't want to hurt the person. They just so happened to die. It sounds like manslaughter.
Yeah, it's involuntary manslaughter. That's involuntary.
Although at the same time, how could you send why would you send somebody to jail for involuntarily manslaughter? I mean, because think about this: if they didn't do it on purpose, the likelihood of them doing it again is really low. But sending them to jail isn't really going to stop them from. I don't know. I mean, I understand that you want to have someone. It's like, well, you hurt this person, you killed them, you have to go to jail. All right, fair enough. But if they didn't do it on purpose, it was something that happened. Whatever happened. But how exactly is sending them to jail going to help the situation?
Oh no.
Okay, so
It's
you
not.
were correct. Third degree, it says right here, also called manslaughter, is unplanned and unintentional killing that is not part of another felony. First degree and second degree is the intent or mindset of the defendant when they took the action that they did.
Okay.
So first degree is basically you were thinking of it and you committed it. Second degree is you thought about it but didn't really want to commit, like you didn't commit it but you were planning on doing it. So premeditated. And then third degree is just like, oh, well, they died, but that's not indirectly to me. The kicker of the entire story, basically, I asked her, and my buddy, he's a pacifist, straight pacifist. This man doesn't like violence at all, trust me.
That is a fact.
He does not like violence at all, trust me. But her response to all of it was went around the room too. I was like, I've been in a fight. I've been in several fights. And that's excluding martial arts. My wife has actually been in fights herself. And believe it or not, as I said, he's a pacifist, but he has been in fights himself as well. She has never been in a fight. Which threw the entire argument out the window. Because you know what's funny? Her own man legitimately looked at her and was like, excuse me? She's never been in a fight. But she had this commentary on abuse and fighting. Like she's had multiple fights and knows how things go down. I even looked it up for her and told her, because like I always hit her with, how do you know that's true? Did you look it up? Did you research it? So she hit me with that. I researched it. I was like, give me 5 minutes. Researched it, looked it up, found it. It's on the law. It's in the law saying that if you are determined to be not the non-aggressor, you will be dropped of all charges and be let free. If you were caught in an altercation that is already started when the police arrive. And she was highly upset actually because after we left, she had started breaking down and crying because
she's a feminist?
Yeah. I actually talked to my boy and he told me that she felt like I undermined her in her opinion.
I did, because your opinion was stupid.
Right. And he knows. The thing is, he knew. He already knew because he was already upset at the fact that why are you making this argument and you've never been in a fight? I told her you don't know that fight or flight response and how you react in the situation.
She has been in a fight.
With herself.
No, she's a cockfighter. The fuck? You can't suck that much goddamn dick and be man. You gotta be out your goddamn mind.
So that was the little kicker. That actually blew everybody in the room because even my wife was on her side for a little bit, but until she said, I've never been in a fight before, she even was like, I was on your side. What the fuck? Like, I can understand if you've been in one fight. I mean, yeah, you have some say.
Right, but even if she had been in a fight, I'm not saying she's stupid. I don't know her, but her opinion definitely was.
Yes,
so it's
definitely.
Not.
No, that's the thing. She's not a stupid person.
Right. I'm just
she's
saying
really
that so people
not,
know that I wasn't
trying to judge her.
No, I'm saying it wasn't ad hominem.
Oh,
I was actually talking about her argument was not.
Her argument was ridiculous as fuck. It pissed me off when he told me. I'm like, how the fuck? And
yeah, because I'm on a bus minding my own business, and a pregnant woman decides to just hit me out of the blue.
I feel sorry for her.
Like, serious. And then I got mad at your wife at that time for taking her side.
Yeah, for the time being. For the whole 30 minutes we were sitting there talking about it. She took her side, but then she was like, wait a minute. Like, what?
Like, you did all of that just to say, I've never been in a fight before.
Because only if you look at it this way,
that's like a motherfucker who's never been shot talking about gun control.
Well, I mean,
I've never been
I would hope. So, right. I mean, that's a little different.
Or never fired a gun. Never fired a gun. There you go. Never fired a gun. Never fired it's kind of like okay, so control. You would know. It's like, you know what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, it's Illinois. People get shot out here a lot.
The thing is, you know what's really funny about the situation is like, if you really think about it, you actually take more of the person's opinion a little bit more if they have knowledge in it, in that field that you're talking about, the conversation. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, when I talk to Donnie about music and rappers and all this other stuff, I take his opinion more cautiously because it's like, okay, like he has an opinion on it because this man He makes music. He writes his own raps. Ricky and Ray do their own thing too. So when I ask them about music and they tell me, it's like, oh, okay, I consider this more than a person who's like, I never listened to a song in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I sit there and listen to you if you're going to tell me about, oh yeah, this song sucks.
Would
like,
you listen to somebody who can't hold a note tell you how to sing?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Like what the fuck is wrong with you?
People always have opinion. They're like assholes.
But no,
Everybody's
that's the
got
problem
one.
with feminists. A lot of the shit they complain about, they never been through. They never been through.
You can't sit on your balls.
Like you up here talking about fucking giving birth, bitch. Have you ever passed a kidney stone?
Oof. So have you ever sat on your nuts after a long hard day at work?
Like no, the
That's
worst
never happened to me.
day in
That
the
actually happens to people?
Yes,
I've done it, bro.
14
Why would you
hours.
do that?
I've never. Okay, look. Sometimes your balls are just hanging because your body's too hot, so your balls hang lower to cool off. Sat down one time at a volleyball game because I was on the volleyball team. Before the game started, went plop. My nuts. Because I laughed. And you know what? It was instant karma because actually a week before that, one of my guys that was on the team actually did that. He sat on his nuts and I was like, ha! And then when I sat down in the bleachers at an away game, there goes my nuts.
No.
Karma's a bitch. Firmly believer in karma. Brother-in-law, my brother-in-law, my wife's brother is not. Mm-hmm.
No, but yes, I worked a 14-hour day in a hot-ass factory. Came home, my house was hot. I knew my balls was dry. I tried to avoid sitting on my balls by shifting and sat on my balls.
But you don't plop. You don't plop when you sit down.
No, I plopped this time.
Oh, okay.
I sat on my balls so hard, I called somebody to tell them some shit that I didn't do yet.
There it is. There it fucking is. The random shit.
Like, seriously. That shit hurts. That shit'll make a man tell the truth about shit he ain't even did yet.
Hold up.
Wouldn't that be alive? You haven't done it yet?
Wait a minute.
He's gonna have to do it now.
Oh, man.
Nani?
I'm telling you, in future reference, this is gonna happen. Like, for real.
Wait a
I sat on my balls so oh, shit. Hold up. Yo, yeah. I'll fuck your girl next Wednesday. I'm sorry.
Right.
I know you're not.
This Wednesday came through, we were slapping skins. Dead ass serious. No, that shit fucking hurts. Jeez.
But yeah, so my buddy's girl is just I wouldn't say a complete idiot. She can be smart in her own right, but like, it's just the fact that I never met a feminist.
I have.
I never did until I met her. And at first she was cool. When I got to know her a little bit more, then I was like, there's something off about this person. And then when I did, I was like, there it is. Like I met an anti-vaxxer when I was working at the North Lake Walmart. Mm-hmm. I met him indirectly. It was actually somebody that he knew that I was working next to. And he's like, my daughter got kicked out of school. I'm like, why? Because I didn't get her shots.
Well, okay, that's why she got kicked out.
Yeah, he knew that. But I was like, wait, why don't you get her shots? Like, there's a reason why we have these shots for measles, mumps, chickenpox. These things are very deadly diseases. We have literal immunizations for them. He's like, no, our body makes antibodies, right? Yes. Like, we know this. But our body doesn't make antibodies strong enough for said virus because the way the virus multiplies and the way it kills off cells. We can't combat that. We're not instant healing, super fast going zoom, zoom, zoom. No,
We're
we
not
need help.
Wolverine.
No, basically, we need help. We need a weaker version to kill, our bodies be able to kill the virus and be like, okay, I can memorize how to kill this thing fast as shit if it does actually get the actual thing.
When our cells decide to get the homies to jump this nigga, we prepared.
Exactly. Prepare. Study your opponent. Figure it out. Then when you find the chink in the armor, hey, your shoelace is untied. Really? Bam. Right in the back of the head.
Hold on. This nigga spitting. I gotta hit that.
But you'll still look because it's an innate ability to follow my fingers.
This nigga spitting. This nigga definitely he gave your ass 16 bars of actual factuals. No, but he ain't lying. But no, I've met a few feminists before, and her, like I said, I got love for her. She cool. That was stupid. That was stupid.
I respect you.
Like, how the hell you've never been in a fight and think like
it's a hard thing to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow because it's like
you can't have that talented of a mouth and say stupid shit.
Well, maybe that's where she put all of her points.
I guess so.
I'm gonna put a hole through a wall.
Like she had to put all her attribute points on her mouth and used it wrong.
It's just like Eminem's song I listened to. It's like she can suck a basketball through a plastic straw with a broken jaw.
She literally can do that.
That shit blew me.
She can suck a pickle through a peephole.
Yep. That's why one of our own kept going back for seconds, thirds, fourths.
Huh?
So that's why one of our own kept going back for seconds, thirds, and fourths, maybe fifths.
Oh, you talking about? Oh,
yeah, yeah. And I've seen the messages, and I'm like, not impressed.
I thought you were about to say I've seen the messes. Like what?
No, I seen the mess.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen the mess too. So I said that's my buddy of 10 plus years. That there's nothing. I mean, there's a few things that we keep from each other that doesn't need to be said, obviously, because I mean, like not everybody.
But that particular situation with that particular person, I knew who to believe in this instance.
That's the thing. I'm like, as much as I dislike her, I'm like, oh boy, I believe it because I seen the messages.
And I'm on her side because I seen.
I
seen a few messages.
It's crazy, and when somebody's asking you to tell somebody to stop, it's like I don't know what to do there.
Right. So it's just like, and when I talked to that person played it off like, nah. It was
no. They just lying.
They lying. I'm like, bro.
Seriously?
Like I want to bark at you right now for lying to me.
And you know what's funny too? You know, as real as you are, I'm still surprised you still talk to him too. Now that I honestly think about it, because you know, not to be a dickhead, but like you know what I'm saying. There are things like he said. I do things out of the goodness of my heart. Yes, it can be the wrong way because I might think it's the right way, but nobody's ever teaching you the right way to do something in order to.
One of the few reasons I talked to him because I knew him before all of this happened.
We all met him at the same time.
Yeah, we all met him at the same time, but he wasn't nowhere near like he is now. He is still my brother. I may not agree with a lot of the shit that he do, right? But I must protect my goddamn brother.
You're not.
And that's just me being big bro.
Right.
That's off the strength. Even though, if I can sit here and find a silver lining in the shit that I don't agree with you, I can literally do that with him. Right. Because it's like it doesn't make sense to treat one person one way and the other person another way. That's just unfair. Because
isn't fair.
It isn't fair. It isn't fair at all. Just ask the guy who got his glasses crushed in the Alfred Hitchcock film.
Or somebody getting stabbed.
I thought that was politics.
It might. No, I think it's still Alfred Hitchcock, right?
No. Probably not.
But you know what? It was Twilight Zone. Yeah, it was definitely Twilight Zone. But no, it's just I can't do that. Because like when I barked at you for personal shit that we are not going to discuss, I got on him too.
They're talking about the Smurfs.
Yeah.
Shit. Nobody had blue balls as long as old girl around.
Ah, shit.
Man.
My shit just kind of go, I'm going to put a stop on that, buddy. I mean, like, no, you're not wrong, but at the same time, it's just. No, but I'm not saying. You know what? I'm not even mad. You know what I mean? Like, after I got arrested for beating on my roommate, for being a dickhead, it humbled me. I I wish I could make music because I would definitely title a song a week and 19 hours. Because they took a week to find me. I wasn't a hard person to find because I was riding on a bicycle. And when they did find me at work, I was detained for about 16 to 19 hours. Same day, just sitting there chilling in a cell, and then eventually telling people how I ended up there. As a person who, you don't look like you'd make trouble. Nah, I punched my roommate for being a bitch, and he called the police. And they were like, he's a bitch. I'm like, yep. I'm here. So don't get me wrong.
No, but there are people in this world that work hard for their ass whoopings.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Yes, I'm not. I used to be a very angry person. This is before martial arts, and afterwards, I wasn't as angry because my mother, being a nurse, she was more afraid of the fact that me hulking out was more of the issue of me actually killing somebody because I know the knowledge that I do. So that, by all means, that's the one thing that really scares me myself.
Right.
So, I mean, like I said, and there's no ill will towards him for the things that he's done. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I would still like to be friends, but it's like I have to hold you at a 10-foot pole. You know what I mean? But it's like I'm not a very angry person. What you did is what you did. I mean, it's who you are as a person. It's not your fault, but at the same time, you knew the boundaries, you knew the lines you crossed. So
no, that is true.
That's why I'm not even mad at you. That's like, you know what I'm saying? I figured it'd be kind of over with him too, because, you know what I'm saying? It's like, why?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely.
That's always the question we're asking ourselves when serious shit happens between people. Why? Because we never get the full answer. We never get the answer that we truly want to hear. We just get the side-eyed answer. I'm trying to see if Vincent's actually going to stop me somewhere, but apparently I'm hitting bells, and this man's like, ring a ding ding, my new dog, you're good.
No, he will stop you, but at the same time, hold on.
I told you, my philosophy is like there. I'm the philosophical child. My sister's not, but I mean, like, I know the things I've done in my life I'm not too proud of, but at the same time, it's like there's things in life that everybody does they're not proud of, they're not happy with, they regret. You know what I'm saying? Like, I barely even have any regrets.
I don't necessarily regret anything I've done, but if anything, I'm not happy with that decision.
You never will be.
That would be the definition.
That would be the definition of regret. It's fucked up that I say this shit.
And somebody has to sit there and go, boy.
And like, dog,
boy.
That's exactly what that is.
Whoopsie.
And no, I don't mind being corrected. Every correction is a lesson.
There's no such thing as failure, only feedback.
What he said. Yeah, what he said. No, but to the point as to why I'm still friends with him is because, like I said, he's one of those people that's kind of like you in a sense. He has a golden heart, but he does the wrong shit. Benevolent asshole. You two are benevolent assholes, and that's not even
chaotic good.
Chaotic good. In D&D, it's a chaotic good. Yeah. But I mean, like, don't get me wrong. But how could you possibly know in the situation what to do correctly in order to avoid doing the wrong thing unless you do it? It's like Schrodinger's cat. I won't know until I actually do it if it's going to be right or wrong.
Well, I mean, depends how much planning you have. I mean, if I'm just saying, because we'll think about it like this: if you study as much as you can about whatever subject you study,
right,
you're going to start to notice patterns. When you notice these patterns, you're going to notice that these patterns also fit in other areas. Right. In which case, it's going to make it easier to do other things. I have a hypothesis that that's part of the reason why Bruce Wayne as Batman got as good as he was. I mean, specifically in martial arts. I mean, other stuff, yes, but specifically martial arts. Because if you think about it, there's only so many ways you can punch, so many ways you can kick, so many ways you can throw.
Mm-hmm.
And once you find the pattern to all of that, and once you find the original arts where all the other arts came from, he may have only had to learn 5 or 10 arts, and those arts, when combined in different organizations, like different
different schools and all that. Yeah.
By learning those 10 styles, he may have learned 127 martial arts, because there's only so many things within each martial art that you're going to be able to learn. Do.
True.
Right.
So eventually, if you expose yourself to enough information, you'll be able to start to notice the patterns, start to notice the themes, and from that, you should, and I say should because I don't know everything, you should be able to have a much better chance of doing the best possible thing. Not necessarily the right thing, but the best possible thing.
That makes sense.
No, it does.
That makes sense because in my head, it's the best possible thing with the knowledge I have. So, and then when it turns out that it was, but then it wasn't the right way I should have done it or went about it.
Well, people do the best they can with the resources that they have. When I say resources, I'm not talking about specifically money,
right,
or stuff. I mean like the various emotions, the various states they're in, and all of that. Like for instance, if you didn't have the ability to have anger, there's certain things you wouldn't be able to do. There's just certain things that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
But the majority of humans on planet Earth know how to be angry, so fighting tends to be a bit easier. You know.
Instead of logically talking out your feelings and letting people know, like, hey, don't do that because it pisses me off.
Those are things that are more human than like a lot of emotions. Emotions specifically are more animalistic.
Yeah.
I was telling that to a vegan one day.
But logic is a human concept. As far as we know, possibly dolphins and whales may be able to. Maybe crows. I think they have logic too.
They are able to memorize a face and actually tell others to make sure you avoid this face. Excuse me.
But humans do it a lot more. Hopefully, ideally, it's better if we did it a lot more based off of the various laws and the way society's set up. It would make a lot more sense if we actually taught and studied logic in school. But earlier, much earlier than later.
That's another thing though. But it's hard to teach logic to people who don't want to learn. Don't get me wrong. If you're an avid learner, you want to learn some things.
Technically, they're using logic, but they're using it wrong. Because by their logic, they feel they don't have to learn.
No, you broke it.
I broke it?
Yeah, you said feel.
You're right.
That's the one thing that throws every argument out of the window. That's why I always tell my wife too, whenever she wants to convey things to me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't shut down my emotions per se. It's just I think what are my emotions going to get me out of this situation? You know what I mean? Yes, with my wife I'm supposed to be more touchy feely and more in tune, but then I think I try my best. I'm not gonna lie. I do try my best. And then at times I end up being more logical then because I'm always thinking what benefit do I get out of that? What benefit do I get out of being like this?
Well, ideally, as men or women, it doesn't make a difference. Ideally, we should be able to switch back and forth and find a nice balance between logic and emotion.
And that's a very thin line, Vince. That's a very thin line you tread. It's like walking a tight wire. It's a very
do it.
Speaking of which, this is a perfect time. You should do the cube with them.
Okay. You want to try the cube?
Sure.
Okay. Imagine a desert. Just imagine the desert. Just take in everything about the desert. Okay? And in the desert, imagine a cube. Describe the cube.
It's the Hellraiser's cube.
Okay. Is it the same size? Bigger? Smaller?
Same size.
Okay. Is it on the ground? Is it floating above the ground?
It's in the air rotating.
Clockwise or counterclockwise, forward, back?
It's rotating counterclockwise.
Is it fast or slow?
Slow.
Okay. And could you remind me, what are the colors?
It's like it's a gold, but like it's been used and abused. Kind of gold. Off
Okay.
gold.
Okay. Is it open or closed?
It's closed.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Now, in the desert with the cube, imagine a ladder. Describe the ladder.
It's not a ladder.
Not a ladder. How many rungs does it have?
It's about a 12-foot ladder.
So, how many rungs does it have?
12-foot ladder. I think like 13, maybe 14.
Oh, well, okay.
13, 13, 14.
What's the relationship of the ladder to the cube? Like how close or far the position?
It's right next to it. It stands by itself.
Okay. The ladder is standing by itself. Is it straight up? Is it angled?
Yeah, it's stood up.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, in the desert with the cube and the ladder, imagine flowers. Describe.
Regular dandelions.
Dandelions. Okay. How many?
About four.
Four?
About four dandelions.
Okay. What's the relationship of the flowers to the cube?
The corners.
At each corner?
Yeah, as it rotates.
Oh, okay. What is the relationship to the flowers and the ladder?
They're not under it per se, but they're like at the edges of it, of the cube.
Oh, okay, okay. Now in the desert with the cube, the ladder, and the flowers, imagine a horse. Describe the horse.
Brown.
Brown.
A brown horse.
Okay. What's the relationship of the horse to the cube?
Standing next to it.
Okay.
Just fascinated by it.
Okay. Okay. What's the relationship of the horse to the ladder?
It's not next to it, but it notices it, but it's kind of off to the side.
Oh, okay. And what's the relationship of the horse to the flowers?
Sniffs them from time to time, taking small nibbles here and there.
Okay. All right. Okay. And now, in the desert, with the cube, and the ladder, and the flowers, and the horse, imagine a storm. Describe the storm.
That's a thunderstorm.
Okay. What's the relationship of the storm to the cube?
It's right above everything.
Okay. And how is the cube reacting?
Sometimes it opens and sometimes it closes.
Okay. And what's the relationship of the storm to the ladder?
Rattles it a little bit.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay. And what's the relationship of the storm to the flowers?
The flowers are untouched.
Okay. And what's the relationship of the storm to the horse?
The horse notices it. It just moves closer to the cube.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. So the cube represents you. You're the cube. You're floating above the desert, which indicates that you are more creative, like more airy-fairy type. You're spinning counterclockwise, which tends to indicate that you go against the grain or whatever. Like you're like counter to whatever most people tend to do. But not. But you, it's. But it requires. It's almost like it requires a bit more energy for you to do that. That's why you're moving a bit slower, or you don't have as much energy to go against. The ladder represents your friends, and the fact that it's next to the cube means that your friends are close, but not too close. But also, your friendship with them is very sturdy, even though it's like your friends like they they don't really need very much support. Okay, but also the amount of rungs tend to indicate how many friends you have. And also the material tends to indicate the strength. So it was a metal ladder, and so it's not too heavy, but extremely strong. The flowers tends to represent the room for children that you have for in your life. Not necessarily that you're going to have children, but the room that you have for children. Or your ambitions. Now, the cool thing about the dandelions is that at some point in the future, they're going to start releasing all of their seeds. And at some point, there's going to be a lot more out there. Okay. The horse tends to represent your ideal mate. The color of the horse tends to indicate the race of your ideal mate. And it was interesting that the horse was like near you, or near the cube, but also was nibbling on the flowers, which was interesting.
I have a very vivid imagination.
Right. And yeah, and the storm represents trouble that you have in your life at the moment. And the way it is that the storm being overhead tends to indicate that the problem is right now, that the cube is not in as much control as it would need to be, because otherwise it would stay closed, but it also opens up and closes. The ladder gets a little ruffled or rattled or whatever, but still stays there. The flowers are good, and the horse gets closer, or your ideal mate gets closer to you. How accurate was that?
It was very accurate.
Okay.
Very accurate. It's mainly just paintball. Nothing really in my life right now is really just out of control.
Mm-hmm.
It's mainly paintball right now. It's just some things that that's been going down. I was telling Donnie about it. It's just there's a lot of drama, and then don't get me wrong, every sport has drama. Problem is that when you respect a person, not only on the field but outside of the field, and then they turn around and do something that you're not too proud of, it hurts. It hurts because and Donnie knows, I put a lot of effort into whatever I really want to do, and a lot of people know I do.
That's a fact.
When it comes to being competitive, I put I wouldn't say way too much effort. I put enough effort that I know is going to work. My team respects me very much. We lost a very good player to another team, and it really rubbed me the wrong way. Don't get me wrong, my leader was very upset himself, but everybody on the team understands that the fact that the work I put in, I have all the notes, everything that I want to do for the team, you know what I'm saying? And the simple fact that, somebody just comes along, and it's not even their fault. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't their fault. That team member specifically reached out to them. The problem I'm having with that person is the fact that they didn't come to our leader, or even me for that matter, since they so-called respect us, quote unquote. They didn't come to me and say, hey, your person wants to come to our side. You know what I mean? And I found out just last night that another person on that team was actually looking at another person on our team, trying to invite them out to their so-called initiation for their prospects, aka Neos. So don't get me wrong, it rubbed our other guy, who was an ex-player for that team, the wrong way as well. The fact that they don't just pick on our team, don't get me wrong. They don't just pick on our team, they pick on other teams too, but the fact that they know that we're still working hard for our team to bring our players up, to make sure that we're going to places, that they just want to be like, hey, come to us. We're better. We fucks with you heavy, this and that. They know not to come after me because of my loyalty. They're trying to rattle the house. They're trying to, break the house bit by bit by taking peace here, support being there. And I just can't respect that. I respect people who respect the game. I respect people who respect me. But I can't respect the fact that you come in the house. We let you into our home. And just you come in and try to take what you want. That's what I cannot respect. And don't get me wrong, I I had a rage build up in my chest I haven't felt for a long time. When I went in there, I saw their faces. I was like, "Yep, I need to walk away." I felt the actual burning in my chest. It started heating up. I wasn't gonna say anything. You know how I am,
Right.
but like I felt that heat, and I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, hold on."
Let the heat flow through.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I haven't felt that
That was
bad.
terrible.
Hey, it was a good reference though.
I know.
Good job, Palpatine.
Right.
I only felt that rage only when I hit my roommate. That was the only time I've ever felt that type of rage. After that, I never felt that rage for a while until recently. And it's not scary. It's just I know I can say words, but as loud as I am, because my call sign on the field is Boom, and I like things that go loud, and I am loud myself. So
That is a fact.
I knew what I would do, and that's it. What I would do, so I just left it alone. And I told my team last night before I went to sleep that, you know what, I'm not going to say anything to them. I will just let my actions speak louder than my words. So anytime they're on the field, it's automatic overshoot on sight. So,
Damn.
it is what it is. I mean, I don't try to sound like an asshole, but I want to respect the game. I want to respect players. You got a good team, hey, by all means, we should either become an alliance or we can be rivals. That's perfectly fine.
Benevolent asshole.
But I'm not going to sit here and be like, you know what, I like your teammate. I'm going to take your teammate from you. Or your teammate wants to join us. Hey, I want to let you know. If they want to join us, they can. If you allow it, by all means. You know what I mean? You know, everybody has a mind of their own. They can make their own choices. Your loyalty will lie where your loyalty lies. But for sure, my loyalty lies with the Los Sicarios. So.
Yeah, anybody who don't know paintball, then this is the man to talk to. No, but in reference to what you said, loyalty. That's what a lot of people don't have that shit. Whether it's loyalty to a paintball team, your relationship, or even family for that matter. Not too many people have that. It's just like we was talking about religion earlier. People use their loyalty to religion and it becomes a contradiction. Like I have someone in my family who was heavy in the church and married, well was, and he committed infidelity. Now, the problem I have with that is that at the time he was dealing with this chick, they got into their little personal spat or whatever. He comes to my mother's house and brings that bullshit to my mother's house. She starts a fight. My aunt damn near killed her. And right on the brink of her taking her close to her final breath, he stops her and says, "Don't do it. God wouldn't want you to do that." Now, in my head, God didn't want you to cheat on your wife, but you did it. God didn't want you to pastor with that bullshit, but you did it. God wanted you not to do a lot of things, sir, but you fucking did it. So who are you to tell her God wouldn't want you to do that? When you, in the eyes of that same man, are doing what you're doing. And you is the same person who brought me into this religion, who convinced me that this was the way to go. Now, anybody who knows me personally knows as of right now, I found my place in this whole religious spectrum. I'm agnostic. I believe something is there. I just don't know who the fuck it is. For all I know, I can die and stand in front of Morgan Freeman. Like, who knows? At the pearly gates, it may be Morgan Freeman and Betty White waiting for me.
Right.
Yeah. But, like, you never fucking know. You see what I'm saying? You never fucking know. And that's the problem. Yep.
I'm calling him.
I do have a water if you want.
Not right
water?
Not right now.
Okay. But yeah, like, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
No, but that's the type of shit that pisses me off. Like, you can't pick and choose when to be a religious nut. Because last time I checked, when I read the Bible, I took something that this spiritual being said, literally. And he said in the beginning, I give you free will. But, I'm paraphrasing, but if you want to go my path, these are my rules. That's literally how I understood the Bible.
Yeah.
You have the will to do whatever you want. But if you choose this particular path, this is how I want you to do it. These are your 10 rules. You must follow these rules if you want this path. Now, if you choose not to, I will still love you. I will still accept you.
But you're going to hell and you're going to burn forever.
That's
No,
the,
lake
that's
of
the
fire.
fire. That's the premise.
That's the premise. But at the same time, you can do what the fuck you want. I said, okay, I'm going to do what the fuck I want.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know who this person is. Never met the guy. Got close a couple times.
Yeah, brush with death, my dude.
Like, I've definitely had a brush with death. And I didn't get waves out of it either.
Oh, whoa, all right, bang bang.
But yes, I've definitely had it. But at the same time, it's just like my whole religious journey, quote unquote, I was an atheist. My dad's an atheist. I see why he stayed that way. My mother is a Christian. Understand it, I respect it. My mother does some contradictory things, but who doesn't nowadays?
Mm-hmm.
But she's not the type of person to say one thing about the Lord and all this, knowing you doing some dumb shit behind the scenes. In my 35 years of living, I've never seen my mother do that shit. I've never seen my mother bring drama to anyone's home. My mother kept her problems to herself and to her family. Her immediate family.
Check the lights. I'm saying, check. No, I'm saying, check to see if you can see.
Check to see if you see this.
I should have checked this for my bad.
Really?
Oh wow, that's
Okay,
still good. That's
She's
good.
over that way.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Get
We're good. But my mother has never been that type of person. Now, the fact that this man brought drama to my mother's house as a devout Christian that he's supposed to be, it took me out of my element, like, maybe this shit isn't for me. But the reason I believe there is a higher power is because of the things that's happened in my personal life that made me say, alright, maybe something is going on. And I know whoever this is affects my life positively and negatively based on my personal decision. Because it's the free will. I have the free will to make the right decision and the right things happen. But I also have the free will to make the wrong decision and the wrong things happen.
You know, I'm always
You
wondering.
can make the wrong decisions and make right shit happen too.
Yeah, but sometimes the wrong decision can lead to some right shit happening.
Or
Then
right
again-
shit really to wrong
Yeah,
shit.
no.
Right, but then again, if it was the wrong
Good
decision,
chaotic pace.
if it was a
sounds
good
like
thing, it was the wrong decision, and it creates a good thing or the right thing, then it wasn't the wrong decision.
I get what you're saying.
I mean, but the thing that I've often wondered is how was there a war in heaven? So my understanding was
Mm-hmm.
is that God created the angels without free will,
Mm-hmm.
and He had them doing whatever they were doing in heaven, wherever, And then it's like, you know what? I want to create reality. So, it's like, let there be light and whatnot.
Right.
And then he created the earth. And then, he created humans.
Mm-hmm.
In his image.
Yeah. Now, my understanding is that at some point, God told all the angels to bow down to his new creation. And my other understanding is that the reason why Lucifer didn't do so was because how can I bow down to these monkeys with anxiety? How can I do that when you are the best? Like, I bow down to you. And the whole God said, well, you have to do this because I told you to. But I'm sorry, I can't. I love you too much. I can only bow down to you. And that's when the war
Why do
happened.
Lucifer sound like Frieza?
Well, I don't know. It's like, I would only bow down to the greatest thing that has ever existed, which is you, God.
Now, see,
But wait. But the thing is, how was it that Lucifer would be able to go against the will of God if Lucifer wasn't built with free will?
because God willed it.
Right. And how was it that all the other, and for the most part, it's messed up because
Like,
all
how
these
do you
angels.
plan your own? How do you create your own enemy?
Because it's
God sounds like Batman.
Wait.
Look, God sounds like Batman. Because out of all the opportunity you have to kill Joker, the only thing you do is arrest him and get him help, knowing that he's gonna break out and do some chaotic shit
Well,
again.
it's not even that. God has omniscience, all powerful, all knowing, all omnipresent everywhere. But also that means not just in space but in time.
Mm-hmm.
God would know, and does know, and did know, that once he created Lucifer, all this other stuff was going to happen. If that's the nature of what we're understanding that God had, the characteristic of God. I'm not even talking about the whole thing where it's an impossibility. If God is so powerful, can he create a rock that he can't lift? The answer is yes, because it's paradoxical. And God can create paradoxes. That's the nature of the whole concept of being all
I've
powerful.
read that shit before.
Right. But that doesn't mean that God doesn't exist. What I'm saying is,
God created benevolent assholes.
look, well, the thing I don't understand is how is it possible that there was a war in heaven unless God allowed it to happen?
It sounds like that's what happened.
Well, because like nothing can exist unless God created it.
That is
Evil
true.
can't exist unless God created it. Time can't exist unless, all of the things that we take for granted that exist, the only way that they can exist is if God allowed them to exist. And I'm not even saying allow them to exist. God would have to create the memory slot for that to be able, like, okay, we're going to pull off of that. That's what that is. People, whenever I asked that question when I was in Sunday school, people would say, oh no, evil is something that man created. Well, how can man create something that God wouldn't be able to create?
How the hell are you gonna say evil is something man created when in the beginning of the Bible it says God created man?
Yeah.
So you said you created
Like
evil.
it's like saying a computer can only do what it's programmed to.
To a feminist, men are evil.
No, I'm saying a computer can only do what you program it to
Actually,
do.
have that sound effect.
I know.
Right. It can only do what it's programmed to do. And if man is evil, it can only be that way if God created it that way. And if that's the case, and we are in God's image, I'm not gonna finish that sentence. However, I'm pretty sure you can catch it.
No, finish that sentence.
No, I'm not.
No, finish that sentence.
Yeah, I don't
No,
actually.
people need to hear this shit because
It's one way or another. Somebody's gonna hear it.
No, there's two things that the humans are afraid of.
The truth.
One is the truth, and the other one is
Zombies.
I said themselves, but zombie sounds a lot better though.
Zombies do sound a lot better.
I just don't appreciate the
No,
the
but
idea
there's
of
two
being
things
eaten
there
alive.
a human are afraid of, and one of them is the truth. nobody likes to hear the truth because they can't dispute it. And unfortunately, that sentence that you was going to say needs to be said.
I don't have to say it, though.
Oh, got him.
You don't have to say it.
It's not the willpower, baby.
You don't have to say it. You are correct. But as a friend, I would like for you to say it because it needs to be heard.
Or we could be educated.
Because it creates an education for a lot of people. Especially when you got backwards ass feminists. You can't make a living sucking dick and be a feminist. That shit doesn't add up.
It's called female empowerment.
Oh, so she got the power to suck as much dick as she wants.
Apparently.
With no consequence. And still hate the dicks that she's sucking.
Well, it's a means to an end.
Yeah.
Well, there's an end.
Yeah, happy end.
It normally lands on her face.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta do for that one.
Well, I guess you didn't see that one coming.
She saw it.
Oh, okay.
At about 32 miles an hour.
Right. From a 90-degree angle.
Bang, bang.
Right. Like, damn, that was terrible.
Snake.
No, but in all seriousness, that sentence did need to be said.
I mean,
I can understand why you did say it.
Because it's contradictory.
Well, the thing is...
No, but people need to see that contradiction. They need to. See,
Yeah, they need to, but do they want to?
The first step
There's a
to
difference between need
accepting
to want.
responsibility is learning how to look in the fucking mirror.
That's why I said, that's why you
And
asked, what are the two things people are afraid of? The truth and themselves.
They are, no, I was about to say that before he hit with the one-liner.
Hey, he's not wrong, though.
Yes.
So there's three things.
Yeah, three things. Zombies. Everybody's afraid of a zombie.
Lousy zombies.
Fucking cunts. Anyway.
You stanky bitch. Hey, he's not wrong. Look, I'll put it into perspective. I went to St. Joseph in Westchester.
Oh, they're closing it down.
Yeah, I know. Congratulations. Look, my mom didn't want me to go to Proviso West. Okay, so she wanted me to go to a school with a good name. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's a private school. What can you get out of it? For 4 straight years, I learned about God, the Bible, and all this and that. As a grown man now, in the way my sister is a very highly religious person, it's funny that I can actually quote the Bible on half the shit she does, and my brother-in-law too. So little backstory here. Almost 3 years ago now, I bought my nephew a PS4 for Christmas.
Okay.
I'm a big gamer. You're a big gamer. He's a big gamer.
Right.
I'm only doing for my nephew what I didn't have as an uncle. My Harold Sr., his brother was gay, but he died of AIDS. So I actually never got to meet him. I actually didn't get to meet more than half of my family because there is longevity in my family, but after I was born, they actually slowly all started to die off. I was just trying to give my nephew what I didn't have. That's special. Like, hey, that's my uncle. He's cool. You know what I'm saying? I can always go to him when I need him. So I bought him a PS4. He earned it. I told him when he was very young too. Like, hey, when he started school, I was like, look, if you keep your grades up and everything, when you get older, I'll get you a big present. As long as you keep your grades A's and B's. That was the worst decision I ever made. So he did. He showed me the report card. Did a great job. I took it. I had him take apart his PS3, grab all his games, went to GameStop, and paid for half of his PS4, and I paid for the other half, plus a couple of games. He got to play it, I think, for like maybe a month or two, and then my sister and my brother-in-law took that away from him. He didn't have it for 2 years.
Why?
Because my sister said that he wasn't ready to have it, and they caught him doing multiple things that he shouldn't have been doing in the first place. My argument.
My bad.
My argument was, he's a kid. Kids learn. Kids do shit to do shit. You act like you didn't do this before. Like my mentality, just because I don't have children, I do say I do still have that mind of a child, because not everything needs to have an adult mind to it. You know what I mean? Because an adult mind will overcomplicate the situation when all it really needs is a simplified answer. Take for granted, side story, working at Walmart, child got separated from their uncle. Kid was crying, nobody knew how to calm the kid down. All I did was took 3 minutes out of my day, sit down with the kid, show him some Pokemon Go. Kid calmed down. Everybody was like, you must have children to calm that kid down so quick. Like, no. All you have to do is, you know a kid likes games. If you have a game on your phone, just show the kid the game. Kid will immediately forget the danger. Immediately. It's simple. It's not hard.
Somebody called the uncle while they're distracted with the game.
Exactly. That's all they did. And as soon as the uncle showed up, there you go. And the kid ran off. That's all it takes. You don't need to have kids to know how to handle kids. Like I was telling my sister, you were once a kid yourself. We're 8 years apart, bro. You took care of me majority of the time after mom got divorced from dad. Like, you took care of me majority of the time.
Right.
So I'm looking at you as a grown adult now, telling you, hey, take it easy. You were once that idiot too. I told her straight up. I took her out to Tilly's for her birthday, right? And I talked to her. I was like, I just want to talk to you about everything, because we don't talk as much because you moved all the way out to the cow. And you know, I like talking. I'm old school. I like talking face to face to people. And my mom knows this. She's like, you know, you can always call your sister. I'm like, no, I'd rather talk to my sister face to face. You guys are only an hour away, and yes, I understand. You guys don't always have the time. She has 3 children. One of the children, I talk to on a daily basis, almost down there. And I was telling her, I was like, bro, why is it so hard to not forget that you were once a kid? You did all these things. I still remember the times that you and mom got into an argument over some shit. You remember the one time you got into trouble because the phone bill was high? Guess whose door was open across the room while mom was yelling, screaming at you, and threw the house phone through? She threw the house phone and slid across the floor into my room, cracked screen, everything. She walked into my room looking at me, crying, tears down her face. This was her answer. You know what? I don't remember that. And it told me everything I needed to know. All the bad shit that happened in our lives, and even before too. Like, she remembers the really, really bad shit. But when we were growing up, she suppressed those. She suppressed all of those feelings and memories. I remember it growing up. I remember every single ass whooping. I remember every single argument. You know what I'm saying? I told my mom, you know what, Mom? I'm not mad at you. Because I was a dumbass and didn't realize it. But now that I do, I apologize. I apologize for being an idiot. Because you know why? Because I love you, and I was only doing it because I didn't know any better. And Mom knows this.
I mean, I can almost say the same. I can't. But I can. I just wish, like, for me, my personal childhood, I wish I could have enjoyed it more. I didn't realize what my childhood was until I got older. Because I felt like I had to become an adult before my time. Right. Because of the situation that happened to me as a kid. I wasn't expected 2 women to fuck me on a repeated basis for over 4 years. I wasn't expecting that at fucking 9. The only thing I cared about at 9 was going to an arcade, participating in the Tekken 2 tournament, and trying to win some money so I could get me a new system. That's all the fuck I cared about as a kid. Japan was probably the best, worst experience of my life. Because I learned a lot in Japan.
It was good or bad?
Yes. Good, and definitely the worst.
Right.
I learned who my father was as a person. I understood my father a lot better now growing up than when I did when I was a kid. Because my dad would give me adult advice as a kid. Adult advice as a kid.
When a kid just needs kid advice.
Right. He would give me adult advice as a kid. And I didn't understand that shit until I got older and it was in front of me.
With that being said, you might agree when I say this.
What's up?
The rough part about the situation between, our childhoods is that you grow up understanding what it means to be an adult and what it means to just let sleeping dogs lie.
I'm almost better at being an adult than I was as a kid. And I didn't realize a lot of the shit that I was doing was childish. But I was getting adult advice as a kid. My dad did what he knew how to do.
Was being adult.
Was being adult. I can't fault my dad for the lessons he gave me because he literally did it to my youngest brother. A lot of our advice that we got from our father was adult advice as a kid.
Right.
My dad was teaching my little brother about equity and stocks and bonds, and he was the same age I was.
Nice.
At the time. My dad was talking to me about the same shit as a kid. My dad didn't just give me lessons, like, as far as, like, be this way towards somebody. He gave me books. He made me understand being black. And being black doesn't necessarily mean you have to fall in line with every other black person. My dad took me snowboarding, which
I've been snowboarding.
Coming back here, I noticed how many black people say black people don't snowboard. No, it's not the fact that black people don't snowboard. Black people aren't willing to try this shit.
Shit, that's true. I was making
Black
fun of a
people
lot
aren't
of
willing
things.
to try this shit.
That's true.
Black people don't go in the forest. Have you ever
I love
been?
the forest.
Have
It's
you
my
ever
favorite.
been fucking camping? It
You know,
is beautiful.
You know,
Going fishing is therapeutic.
yeah, living down south for 3 years, bro. Driving all the way down out to away from the city just to see the stars. It's really nice.
That's beautiful to
It's
me.
really nice.
You know what I give to have a woman in my life that enjoys that type of adventure?
You left that.
Yeah.
And
No.
you know what? And what I wanted to say, what I really wanted to say was, in what I've learned in my life, the experiences you have is what makes you a person, like the person you are. And I really think about the experiences I've had and the way it shaped my personality. Because if I wasn't the way I am now, I would never have met Donnie. I would probably never met Ray, because I met him through Ray. So if I never went to that college, I really think about it. Like, if I never went to that college, I would never have met Donnie. I would never have met Ray.
If I didn't go through what I went through in Japan, I wouldn't have the diverse friendships that I have. Because I'm friends. We don't necessarily have to have a lot in common. But what I do respect is a person that's themselves no matter the crowd. That's what I respect the most out of my friendships with people. If you don't change who you are when you are in front of me, opposed to who you are when there's a group of people, and you're still the same person, you are a person I respect. You are a person I want to be around. You are a person I'm willing to give my time to and build a positive relationship with. Because you are yourself. Part of the reason why me and Ricky are so close, because Ricky never changes sides. Ricky has never did no fraud shit behind my back or said anything behind my back. Ricky has always been in my face and told me shit. When I was going through my personal shit, when I was homeless, and I mean sleeping on park benches homeless, Ricky was the first person to come grab me. Now me and his cousin has since talked about it, and I forgive him. But at the time, I was mad at him for a while because he was the first person I called, because he was the person I knew the longest. Me and him been knowing each other since 1993. 1993 we've known each other.
I don't know, like 2 at the time.
Right, me and him since 1993. And to hear him on the phone say, I can't come and get you. I'm with my girl right now.
That actually honestly hurt me when I first heard that.
That hurt. I'm like, bro, I'm in the middle of fucking Bellwood Avenue with a duffel bag and less than 50% power on my phone, calling you with my non-free minutes, while a bunch of fucking Mexicans drive around looking for me because they looking for a black person to beat up because they think he a GD. And you tell me, can't help you because I'm with my girl. That's why off camera, why I said it's not hard for me to get rid of a female, because I've seen what females have done to me in my life.
I only had one do that to me, and you already knew who it was.
Right.
I think that's probably why. Honestly, I think that's probably why the way I am.
No, but it's been so many women in my life that's tried to damage me as far as mentally. I can deal with physical damage. I'm a heal from that. That mental shit takes a lot longer. And if it wasn't for the fact that I ran into the right people to help me with that shit, especially running into you, knowing that the mind that you have and the way you taught me exercises to get rid of that bullshit, I use that now.
It's good stuff.
Like, I use that now. So it's just like, it's crazy to me that Japan and everything else molded me to who I am. And I'm glad I have that diversity of friends. I'm glad I'm around people who are willing to be themselves no matter the crowd. Like, and just like when someone says, Donnie, when I say I don't put anything past anybody. And he was like, how could you say that? I was like, listen, nobody's above doing something bullshit to you. I don't give a fuck if you know that person for 15 minutes or 15 years. They can do some foul shit.
Everybody's liable.
Everybody's liable. And when it happens, guess what? I never get mad at the shit that I expect. Getting mad is literally bad for my health now.
Yeah, you can't get mad if your expectations, like my brother-in-law says, you can't get mad if your expectations are already low.
Right, which is why I said you can't get mad at the shit that you expect. If I expect this shit from everybody, when you do it,
every day.
Everything's going according to plan.
basically, everything's going according to plan. You are who I thought you were. The only way you can change my mind is through your actions.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you I don't trust you out the gate. You should already know that.
I mean, yeah.
In your head, you should already know that. Just like I should already know you shouldn't trust me.
I just base it on the way people talk. If I'm already talking to you and you don't sound like a person I need to like converse with all the time, then yeah.
When I first met Harold, one of the first things I told him out the gate, you will always be my friend if you keep it 100 with me. If you keep it regardless of what the fuck it is. Keep that shit a bean. I'm used to hearing harsh shit.
Now, knowing that knowledge then, but I never told you as the person I am, I was raised to always be considerate. Because even if you know it's going to hurt the person, you always have to be considerate.
Which
right, but
now, later on,
yeah,
I understand that's who he is.
Because you never know what it might do to a person at the end of the day.
Me personally, I grew up in a household where I had to hear harsh shit. One of the harshest things my mother ever told me was, if I knew, no, my mother and my father said this. She said, if I knew what I knew now about about who you are, I would have gotten that abortion. That's one of the harshest things my mother has ever said to me.
And if I had known the person that you would have been, I would have wanted you to.
That's fucked.
That would have been fucked up. That would have been a fucked up rebuttal. But in my head, I'm like, damn, why would you say that? Just like, for instance, one of the worst things my dad has done. It was some shit that I said. I cracked a Caliban joke in class. Bad timing. This is in 2005.
I was a freshman in high school.
I was 18 going on 19. Because when I came back from Japan, I had to repeat a grade. I was too far ahead. So, it shows how the American education system works. Huh?
Why did you just graduate?
We was in America. Anyway.
He said, boy, you too smart. Come back real quickly, dog.
Yeah, anywho's it. I wanted to join the military. I wanted to follow my dad's footsteps, go to the Air Force. Better discipline myself. Get prepared, for my life 50 years from now. Because that's the things my dad taught me. Don't prepare for 1 or 2 years. Prepare yourself for 50 to 100.
Why stop there?
No.
500, 5,000.
No, that's what I was about to say. No, that's what I was about to say. Like, prepare yourself for 50 to 1,000 years, basically. Be able to feed your family for generations until your bloodline runs out. You see what I'm saying?
Run out. You weren't planning for enough.
Well, I can't change the minds of the people I bring into this world.
Again, you're not planning for... You know what? Never mind. Just finish.
No, I hear what you're saying. And I understand what you're saying. And I agree with what you are saying. But once again, this falls on the shoulders of the offspring. Do they want to continue? This is why I'm bringing them here. This is my offspring. I want my offspring to continue this legacy until the end of time.
If done properly, they'd have no choice.
Basically, yes. But, like I said, you never know.
Right.
I always want to have a lineage that goes a zillion years. I would love to be a spirit knowing my lineage has continued on even after I'm dead and gone.
A bunch of assholes.
I would love that. To know that.
Benevolent assholes.
But yes, benevolent assholes. I would love that. But back to the military. I wanted that. And I'm sitting in the office. It was the old principal. She died. Fuck her. I said it when she was alive. I'm going to say it again while she died. I don't like that woman. I keep the same energy.
Who?
I think her name was Miss Wallace.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like that woman. Fuck her. Fuck you. I said it when you was alive. I'ma say it after you're long gone. I don't like you. I will never change up because you're gone. The energy stays the same. Fuck you. I'm like Trump.
Fuck you and your feelings.
Right. I'm like Trump. Fuck you. I said it when you was alive. I'ma say it even after you're gone. Fuck you. So, my dad, they was lecturing me, and he said, what are you trying to do with your life? Now, behind the scenes, I was talking to a recruiter. I found a recruiter in North Riverside Mall, and I think you know where their office is at.
Yep.
Found a recruiter over there, and I was going to break the news to my dad that I wanted to join. My dad, I told him, I said, I want to join the military. This bitch laughed in my face. Her and my dad laughed in my face when I said that. And then she follows up and say, you're not man enough to do that. And my dad co-signed it.
Well, that doesn't even make any sense. Because ideally, it doesn't make a difference how women join the military. What does that even mean?
And they're not man enough, quote unquote. But yeah, she said I wasn't man enough or disciplined enough to do that. And I looked in my head, I was like, aren't I joining just to get the discipline?
Right.
So if I know this and I want to correct it, allow me to do it.
That's like saying you don't have enough of job experience to apply for this job, even though you don't need experience at all.
But yeah, they laughed in my face. And I said, since you bullshitted me, I'ma bullshit you. I will never join the military. And then when I see the way these motherfuckers treat our veterans after the fact,
It's kind of trash.
what makes you think I want to serve a country that's going to spit in my fucking face after I sacrifice for you?
Yeah, don't spit in my face. It won't turn out well
Tweet.
for you.
Like, no. And I'm saying this to you because you are a military veteran.
Yeah, I know.
Army or
Army.
My dad was Air Force for 10 years. My dad has worked for the government for 33 years. And he still go through shit mentally because of that. My dad has real bad PTSD.
It's unfortunate.
I have bad PTSD from shit that I've gone through in my life. So for you to sit here and laugh in my face, I will never serve this fucking country. You can't pay me to do you can't pay me to serve these motherfuckers. I bust my ass for you? For you? You fucking ingrates? I gotta sit here and fight, shoot, kill, hide, stealth a bunch of motherfuckers I don't know just to come back and deal with your ungrateful ass? Suck my dick. I mean that shit from my left ventricle. And for those of you that don't know anatomy, your left ventricle is the bottom of your heart. Now, you think I want to do that? You think I want to come back to that? Any man who's came back from the military and is somewhat mentally stable or content, I want to buy that man a beer.
Want to go now or?
We'll go after the fuck. We'll go after. But yes, I want to buy that man a beer because there's a lot of veterans who've seen a lot of foul, sadistic shit go on that they can't talk about, that they got to sit here and suppress because nobody is willing to help them or put them on a path as to where they can get some help, which is why the suicide rate amongst military veterans is so damn high. I've known people who before they went into the military were fine. After fucking zombies,
they break
a shell of themselves.
They break your spirit, bro. They break your will.
You know, as far as I know, I'm pretty much the same person before and after.
Like I
Some
said,
people have a stronger will.
it's not too many people that has that strong will that you have going in and coming out of it. And how long did you serve?
9.5 years.
9.5 years. My dad served 10. Now you got to think about it. My dad has been Air Force 10 years. He was a mailman, a cop, and FBI for 33 years of his life.
To be honest with you, it sounds like he just couldn't get away from what he felt, what he already knew.
But and this is why I can't get mad at my father.
For structure.
He only taught me what he knew. Because his father didn't show him a lot. My father had a scholarship to go to Mississippi Valley State to play football with Jerry Rice.
But chose to go to the military.
No, he didn't know that was the opportunity he had because his father didn't teach him that.
Oh, wow.
Had he known, he would have did what he wanted to do and played football.
But then,
that was his love. But
butterfly effect, that might have actually changed you as a person too.
It probably would have changed me. It probably would have changed me.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Would that not be a butterfly effect if that actually would have changed in his life?
Yeah, actually, every once in a while, before I go to bed, I think about changing things in my past, and I wonder, like, if I changed this, what other things would have happened? Like, if I had chosen not to go to the military, there's probably a bunch of people I would have never met, a bunch of friends, you know, a bunch of experience I probably would have never had, and then I try to figure out if I were to travel back in time and inhabit the younger version of myself and start at that age with everything that I know, would I do everything the same? And in order for me to be here right now, I would have had to go through all the bad things. But knowing what I know, I could avoid the bad things and still wind up course correcting.
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
Because I feel like if my dad would have known that playing football would have changed his life, it would have, me being into athletics, and one of my three favorite sports is baseball, football, and basketball. Because one of the three people I idolized was Ken Griffey Jr. I idolized that man. I idolized Michael Jordan, and I idolized Bo Jackson. Those were the three people I idolized. And I take that back, not Bo Jackson, Warren Moon. Because he went against the grain of the average black quarterback. They was thinking, when they saw Warren Moon, they was thinking he was supposed to run out the pocket, use his speed like Randall Cunningham. But when you realize he has such poise, he stood in a pocket, and he is accurate as fuck, I love to see that. And Warren Moon was one of my favorite quarterbacks growing up. I always wanted to be like Warren Moon. So, had I seen my father commit to the athletics like he did, I would have committed too. Because just like my father, I wanted to commit to the military. Just like he did. Because I saw what it did for him. But I never took it to the account what it did to him mentally.
No, you see what it did for him, you just didn't see what it did to him.
Right.
Put it that way.
I seen what it did for him, but I didn't see what it did to him.
Now let's put a different spin on it.
Right.
Me, my household. Father's a drug addict. Mom was with him until I have the same father. We both have the same dad, Harold Senior.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a junior, so mom was with him for a while. Had both of us, 8 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
She divorces him when I barely turned the age of 3. I was born in Vegas, and they moved out of Vegas to Illinois. I was slightly raised on the west side in Humboldt Park, slightly there. Like, you know, I rarely tell people from, you know, I tell people, oh yeah, I grew up on Division and Rockwell, out there. You know, very nice area to me at least. It's a very nice area. Now, I don't know the full past. I didn't know at the time. I do now. My sister explained it to me. But I don't know the full past. All I know is that there was some bad blood between my mom and my father. You know, but she never talked ill about him. She just always said he was sick. He's sick. The only thing, you know, the thing about me when I was growing up, I told my mom when I was a kid, like, I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want to be good at basketball. I don't want to be good at this. I want to be doing something else. I want to be different. I want to be that different kid. Yes, I was picked on for it, but I didn't care. I didn't have a lot of friends growing up. And that's why I'm that type of person. Like, oh yeah, they're my friend. They're acquaintance. You know, after a while you learn stuff. But as a kid growing up, taking Ritalin, you know, half a tablet throughout the day was rough. I'm not gonna lie. Right. It sucks when you're the black sheep in the classroom and you try to make a friend, but just keep getting ridiculed for it. Like, why do you have to take a pill? Why do you have to do this? Why do you have to do all this special stuff? I don't know.
Because if I didn't take it, I'd have to kill you.
I was a hyper kid, but granted, you know, before my sister told me that at one point in time when I was still a baby, people came looking for my dad and shot up our house. I didn't know that. But her spin on was that, like, God was looking out for us that day. She said she woke up to the front door being wide open. Nobody was in the house but just me and her. And I'm like, okay. So why do you now choose to tell me this when you could have told me this before? I shouldn't have to ask.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Some people can be mentally ready and prepared for things, and some people can't. But at the same time, my sister knowing who I am as a person and how well thought out I am now, like, it'd be nice to tell me, like, hey, this is what really went down. Thanks, that's fantastic. Not tell my dad how much of a dick he is. You know what I mean? Like, and growing up with my stepdad, at first, it was a rough patch. Because this was a guy who loved my mom, but I didn't know for sure if he really cared about us. Yeah, he would do things, right? Do things. Claim you can claim you care about somebody. You know what I mean? And on top of that, you don't know. But over time, when I turned 18 and everything, you know what I'm saying? Over time, before I turned 18, I apologize. Before I turned 18, I started to realize something. Like, my stepdad actually did care. I have 3 stepsisters. I have a stepbrother. My stepdad has him on his shit list. I made the same face too. We had this conversation. I talked to my stepdad. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I love you like my actual, like if you were my actual son. I was like, don't you have one? And because my mom had told me, but you know what I'm saying? I didn't know. I was like, don't you have one? He's like, yeah. I don't talk to him. I don't talk about my son no more. He's on my shit list. I was like, shit list? What's that? He's like, you're not gonna find out. Because he'll never tell me. And that's fine. I'd rather him not tell me because we have this best friend bond. Like, I will forever respect my stepdad. After an evening I disrespected him and my mom really showed her true colors of how much she respects that man. She was willing to bash my brains in with my own little slugger bat from Little League baseball. Because I told that man one night I wanted to stay over at a friend's house and I was like, he's not my dad, he can't tell me what to do. And that was the last thing I heard on the phone before it hung up. And my mom came and found me. So I have the utmost respect for that man because of what he's been putting up with my mom, me, and my sister. And if anything, you know, when I see him, it's always dap up, love this man, squeeze him, you know what I'm saying, and joke around. I'll tell him everything, and I won't tell my mom because I don't need my mom to worry. But I'll tell him everything under the sun because I know me and him will always be like, all right, because he's a man of few words. He was a staff sergeant in the Army. You know, he was a tank driver, which I even had more respect for. I was like, oh, you make things go boom, boom. Oh, yes. I have the utmost respect for that man, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I love that man to death. Like, anybody who ever disrespected him, I'd jump down their throat before he even has a chance to. Like I said, he's a man of few words. If he starts barking, like, that man has bass. Like, I mean, yeah, I used to call him Bassman as a child because his voice is really, really deep. But, and Harold Sr. was a staff sergeant as well in the Army too. But my stepdad was dishonorably discharged. This is why I have more respect for him. He was dishonorably discharged for punching his CO in the face because his CO told him to do something that he wasn't morally happy to do. He won't tell me what it was, but he left it at it was something that had to do with his morality, and it wasn't a thing he wanted to do. So he punched him in the face because he disagreed. So he was dishonorably discharged. And I was like, you know what? I would call that honorable because why would I even go to the military? Because I did want to too as well. Because I talked to my father, my godfather, and he said, you know, you don't need the discipline. You have all the discipline in the world. Like, oh shit, I don't feel like it half the time. But, you know, I would call that honorably discharged for, you know, going against the grain and being like, I don't want to do what you tell me just because you say it's okay. What about me? What if I don't feel like it's okay? You know what I mean? Like, I get it. You guys are supposed to listen to your COs. Whatever your COs say, you do it without question. Shoot that kid, shoot the kid. The kid's not a threat. Don't matter. Shoot the kid. You see what I'm saying? You're supposed to follow. To me, in the military, you're supposed to follow orders blindly, no matter if it bothers you. Shoot the dog. Why? Shoot the dog. I ordered you to. You shoot the dog, now you feel bad because it's like, why did I just kill an innocent animal? What if that animal is attacking me? Well, of course. But if the animal's not attacking me and doing anything to me, why would I need to attack? You know what I'm saying? So, to me, the military just brainwashes you. Or, per se, breaks your spirit, breaks your will to bend to theirs.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying the military is bad. Some people do need it. You know what I mean? Some people do really need that extra oomph and wake up on time. Get your shit going. Get your shit straight and come on. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, my stepdad's an amazing man. My mom's an amazing woman. They raised two great people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, not everybody's perfect, but everybody tries to.
Right.
Everybody tries to be perfect, but we can't all be perfect. We have to be imperfect to reach perfectness. If you really think about it. If you're imperfect, you're already perfect.
Well, no. I disagree. In order to become perfect, you have to be imperfect. But if you're already perfect, you don't have to become perfect. I mean, it's a progression.
That's true.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get exactly what you're saying.
It's rough. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's one of those things in life I've learned. Like I said, I'm more of a philosophical thinker because it's like I've learned a lot of things in my life. I've talked to many different people. I've heard different sayings that really make sense. People who've done a lot in their lives. I've sold drugs. I did this so I could give them something when I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? You know, their kids, their legacy. Like Donnie said, I want to give something. Like you were saying, you want to build further down the road. You want to think ahead, but you can't think a zillion years ahead unless you're living a zillion years ahead, right? So, don't get me wrong. Yeah, that's why I don't want to have kids because I don't want to think that far ahead. Because right now, I want to be here. I want to be like everybody else and be worried about 5, 10, 15, 50 years from now. Like, damn, what am I going to do? I got no money now. Like, what am I going to be worried about fucking in the future? What if one day I just stumble upon a fucking winning lottery ticket? Boom, I got money.
Well,
I mean, the odds of it happening.
well, no, that's not the issue. If you were to win, you know, millions and millions of dollars, the majority of people who gain that money wind up being worse off than they were after they get the money, and they have no money left. Most people who get like millions and millions of dollars right away tend to spend it just in so many different ways. Like somebody may win like $50 million and they'll buy a $10 million house. That makes no sense.
It doesn't, because
that's literally a fourth of what you have. Now you only have 40 million. Then you wind up there's so many different things.
No, yeah, and that's the thing. It's just you really think about what you would do with that type of money. Like,
you know what?
I actually planned on what I would do if I ever came across that type of money.
The first thing I would do, I would put it minimum 90% of it into a high interest yielding account of some sort. I probably would spend 10%, and I probably wouldn't spend all of that. I probably, I would invest in like businesses, start my own business, probably a computer thing, like programming, something.
Something with technology always booms.
Something that would allow me to make more money off the money that I have versus spending it on things that require more money to maintain.
Right.
And most
No,
people don't think that.
I get what you're saying, and I actually like that idea. As far as me, I would do something along those lines, but a little differently. I will start my own business just to get people to invest in me, so I don't have to invest in somebody else. Because I always want to be my own entity. Invest in me. I don't want to invest in you right now. I'm trying to build my legacy. But if you want to join in and feed your family as well,
that's fine.
Invest.
It's just a less of a liability, and I mean, his is high risk, high reward.
Yes, his is definitely.
Yours is low risk. You still get somewhat of a reward because you ain't got to worry about losing too much when you invest.
Because I said I always wanted to buy Sega. I always wanted to buy Sega. In my head, I wanted to become the owner of Sega. There's something.
Why don't you just make your own Sega? I mean, you couldn't call it Sega. That'd be copyright infringement. But I'm saying, make your own.
No, and once again, I would love to do that, and I want to, but probably because it's a nostalgia thing for me. It's almost like when these owners buy their favorite basketball team. It's just like the owner of the Clippers, the new owner, not the old one. He grew up a fan. And he literally built his legacy to have enough money to say, when I get a chance, when the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to buy this team and I'm going to mold this team after my love for this team. And that's what he did. He invested in a team that he loved and it became truly his. That's what I want to do with Sega. I want to own it so it can be truly mine and create a new legacy for a company I love that I grew up knowing.
Would you create the Dreamcast 2?
Yes.
Bet.
That's the first thing I'm creating, the Dreamcast 2.
Now I kind of feel that.
No, that's my first idea. The reason I say I wanted to start with the Dreamcast 2 because it was a dream for me even being in this position. So let's continue the dream.
And make it backwards compatible.
Oof, big oof on that one.
That's my idea. He's literally reading my mind. Because
they still have some awesome games.
They still have awesome games.
They do.
It's a
How is that even possible?
The new Dreamcast I wanted to create was going to have Xbox One technology, Xbox Series X technology, 4K, all that great shit. But there's a lot of nostalgia that comes with this.
True.
As to where you can just download a digital version of the original Sonic. You can download the Lion King for Sega. You can like classic games, Vector Man.
Elemental Gimmick Gear.
Comment your favorite game that you would want back. Let us know.
No, but nostalgia. Like I don't want to take away the nostalgia that comes with the name Sega.
Right.
You will always know who Sega is if I took the helm.
Now, see, I kind of feel bad that I don't think about those type of things. I actually, honestly, if I came into like that type of money, I personally would probably give back to mainly my mother, so she can actually live happily.
Wrong.
I know.
No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Wrong. What you do is you put it into a high interest yielding account and have the interest go to her.
Oh, see.
Otherwise, if
No,
you
that's
just
the
get
Well, no,
thing.
it just be something that off to the side for her. That she can
Outside
use
of
at when
buying
it will.
Sega, that's one thing I would do. High interest yield account and have the interest go to my family. I want to be able to feed because my main goal, 1,000,000 years from now, my family lineage is still eating. 1,000,000 years from now, we're still eating. In the year 1,199,999, we're still fucking eating. Great.
I think at that point the sun would have reached its heat death. It would have expanded and destroyed the planet.
We're still eating.
We're eating hydrogen and helium, boys.
We're still eating.
Under pressure.
So like that's the thing I want. I want to expand our legacy to the point the son dies and we die rich. And I'm been gone.
Yo, you came back.
I came
Left
back
again.
and left again. It's not gonna whoop your ass.
I'm sorry, bro. I was feeling it.
If you seen what I said, you'll be kind
I
of
was
pissed.
fucking feeling
If you
it.
seen what I said,
I'm
you'll be
sorry,
kinda
bro.
pissed.
Look,
no.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, to me personally, as much as I put my mom through, I feel like she deserves it because we've lost our house in the flood. That's why they live out in Sycamore. We had, I don't know if you know Stone Park area too well. Okay, that creek, we used to live on 39th and Division. Yeah, we were halfway up the street from that creek. The house flooded about 3 times before the 3rd time my mom was just like, I'm done. I'm not going back. And that hurt me because not only did my buddy live down the street, like a few blocks over, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was something I could go back home to when I moved out, if I needed to fall back, I can go back to my old room. But I don't have that luxury. You know what I mean? And it sucks.
I felt, and that's what made me want to do that myself. Because I lost my childhood home and it was due to the same thing. My grandmother spent most of her retirement building that home. Because we were supposed to, as a family, I think that was the happiest time I've had as a child growing up, was living on 1510 South First Avenue. That was probably the happiest time of my life. Growing up there, because we didn't have social media. It was old school finding your friends. If their bike was outside, you knew who was there. That's what I grew up doing. I had a best friend named Damien. We hooped together. I used to hoop with Patrick Beverly. He currently plays for the Houston Rockets. I mean, no, not the Houston Rockets. He used to play for them. He plays for the LA Clippers now. I'm proud of that nigga.
Does he? Oh, well, you probably don't even talk to him no more.
No, we don't talk, but I know who he is. I used to hoop with this man. Like, some of these friendships I've had over the years growing up started on that block. I met Ray in Maywood. My best friend, 93 in Maywood. Ricky, let me tell you how parallel me and Ricky's lives were. We grew up around the same people and didn't meet until junior year in high school. Our whole lives was split because Ray's his cousin. I've known Ray since 93. I've known Ricky since 2004, 2005. And me and Ricky was just across the bridge from each other. He was on 9th and Lexington. I was on 1st and Madison. He was literally on the other side of Maywood. And I grew up with his cousin. And we didn't meet until we became teenagers. And that man is my right-hand man. He is my right-hand man. Like, anybody says anything that says that Ricky did something foul to them, I'm going to knock you the fuck out. Because that's not who he is. Ricky don't take no fucking sides, which is why our friendship is so strong. Like, yeah, when he come over, sometimes we do make fun of him. But he knows he's one of the loyalest people I know. I don't expect anything less from him. If Ricky turned his back on me, that would hurt me more than anything in this world. That would be the one time I don't expect it. That would be the one time I don't expect it. And that would hurt if that happened. So, I don't know. But yeah, like that Maywood, my childhood home, I wish, which is like I said, I wanted to build, because if I bought a home with all that type of money, I wouldn't buy no big ass fucking house. What the hell I need that for? I can buy a small home for my family, or I can buy a block and have my family live close to me. I can buy a block. I can take a huge ass chunk of land and dedicate this land to building houses for my family so we can stay close knit. We don't have to go all the way to fucking Palatine to visit somebody. Right here.
I just hope you like your family.
No, I love my family.
Oh, okay. Well, no, that's not what I said. I hope you like them.
No, I like my family.
Oh, okay.
I definitely like my family.
The ones that you want to keep.
The ones I want to keep around.
Oh, shit, I didn't even have those.
Because there's going to be specific family members that live in this area. The ones I want around. There are some family members, I'm better off loving you from a distance. You stay where the fuck you're at.
Well, at least you were able to hang out with them. Because most of my cousins are the same age as my sister almost. So I only know about he say, she say.
No,
that's all.
My cousins are basically my brothers.
That's what I'm saying.
I love all my cousins.
At least you have that. I mean, I wish I could have that shit.
I have cousins right now. That's one of my older cousins. His name BJ. He's I just thought about that.
You could have went with JB. He would know you were
No,
talking about.
no, because I didn't want to give out his government name.
No,
I
that's
just
fine.
Give out his nickname.
No, I know. That's what we understand. But
That's a terrible nickname.
Yeah. Because I heard it and I couldn't hold it. I'm like, God damn it, Vince.
But it's for the initials in his actual name.
Well, that's fine.
His actual shit. I just thought about his initials. Because his initials is HBJ. Not HBK. HBJ.
What's HBK? The clothing line?
No, HBK is Heartbreak Kid. Shawn Michaels. HBJ. Okay, I'm just calling him Brooke. Because that's
I mean, said, you
that's
know what? We're going through stages of bullshit right now. You just want to hit this stage,
I
right?
have a cousin. His name Brooke. He's a military recruiter. And he's one of the smartest people I know. Doesn't get involved in drama. He raises his family. He's quiet. Always keep a smile on his face. Works out. One of the most positive people I know. I have another cousin, Ray Jr. Owns a barbershop. Great father. Great husband. Keeps a smile on his face. I grew up with him. They used to kick my ass as a kid. But it was nice being around them. My cousin Cliff, my cousin Antonio, I love them all. I can't say anything bad about my cousins. I have two cousins that's mentally challenged. I love them, like them. Anything that involves a positive feeling towards them, that's what I have for them because they're pure-hearted people. I laugh with them. I don't even treat them like they have special needs. I treat them normally, like they're normal human beings. Cause I don't see them that way. I see them as human. I see them as my family. I have another cousin, Brittany. She's doing great. Love her to death. I can't say the same about. Never mind. But I can't say the same about her pops. Because he really disappointed me. Knowing what I know. Like I said, I'm trying not to get into it, even though I technically said it earlier. But I only spoke on it because it hurt. It hurt. Knowing who that man was beforehand. And what he became after the fact. And how it affected the family structure that I was used to. Because it literally took two people to divide our family. It literally took two people to divide this family. And it sucks. But back to his daughter. Beautiful person. She literally embodies what a Christian should act like. She literally, like to me, if I can pick an image of a good Christian, if someone was a poster child to be a good Christian, a true good Christian, not the contradictory ones, a true good Christian who follows the book and does it by the book, no sex till marriage, follows all 10 rules. They're not perfect. They are aware. But they know when it comes to serving a higher power, they know they're good at that. That's her. Put some more water in that pot because I smell it burning.
Zoom, baby.
Thank you. But yes, that's who she is. She is the embodiment of that. She is a true good Christian. She has her moments, as we all do as human beings. But at the end of the day, her heart has been the most beautiful thing I can ever witness in a human
You still
being.
want it on?
Yeah. It's to humidify the air a little bit. Because once this spring shit kicks in, it's hard for me to breathe.
Yeah, because he stank. Anyway.
Shut up.
You stink. You stink. Go ahead.
What that brings you into the next topic of religion and people, how they find it and how they act.
Yeah, which brings us to that. You know, we're 2 hours in and we're just getting to the second topic.
Oh shit, that's right. The second topic. The second topic.
No.
No, that's the last. That was the last topic. Actually, the second topic was
No, I actually brought it up earlier.
You
He
did?
Yeah, Lucifer and
Oh,
God thing.
That was actually religion was our last topic. The second topic was about gun control.
Well, you brought that up earlier.
I did because these people getting shot out here nowadays. Now, don't get me wrong. Dante White, right, or was it White or Right? I can't remember.
Right.
Okay. Don't get me wrong. Shot and killed. Oh my God. But when I found out he ran first, I'm like, why are you running? Just because he has outstanding warrants, I'm like, oh well then. He kind of got what was coming to him.
I don't think, no.
Don't get me wrong, nobody should be shot over that, but you shouldn't be running either.
No, of course you
Well,
don't run.
well,
But the charges they gave her is the correct charge.
Him?
No, the officer. They charged her with manslaughter. That's the correct charge.
Right.
Because in the video, I'm going by letter of the law. His actions didn't help the situation. Do I feel the cop was justified in shooting him? No, I disagree.
Okay.
If someone agrees with that and has a logical reason why, I'm willing to listen. I'm always willing to listen. I'm not a closed-minded person.
Right.
I like to hear both sides of the spectrum. But me personally, this is just me. This is not the ideas of Vince or Harold. This is just me. She fucked up only when she said taser and grabbed her gun.
I mixed
You
up the
been-
two. Oh, that's why everybody was saying she said she mixed up the two?
Yeah, she mixed up the two.
I thought people were just fucking around.
No, she pulled out her gun and yelled taser. She had no intent on shooting him, just stop him from running and get the arrest. She pulled out the gun and said taser. But in the heat of the moment, I don't think she paid attention to what she had.
But the problem is her life wasn't on the line.
Huh?
Her life wasn't on the line. Why the fuck are you panicking?
That's why she said taser.
Well, I can tell you why she was panicking. The nature of the training that police go through.
Just assume everybody's a fucking threat.
Well, not just a threat, but it's assumed that they are going to kill you. Not that they might, not that they could, but they will.
But they will.
Yeah.
So every time you pull up to stop someone who was running a red light, or turn signal wasn't on, broken headlight, broken tail light, whatever it is, they're going to kill you.
Okay.
And if anybody, regardless of whoever it was, thought that every time they went into a situation that someone is, not could, not would, that might, but is going to kill you,
Damn.
they're going to act, they're always in threat mode. But unfortunately, that actually does, well, fortunately, it makes them more prepared, hyper-aware, more hyper-vigilant, actually. Unfortunately, that also means that they have, hair triggers. Like anything, any small movement is seen as a threat. And that's why so many, well, I don't know. But that's the reason why.
No, go ahead.
It's the training. The training that they go through keeps them safe, but it does not do that for the people that they have to pull over.
Personally, me as a person, I'm a civilian. I don't know shit. Let's assume shit. I don't know shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody in a fight or flight response is different. You know, they're trained to, you have to stand there. You have to be able to withstand it. Some people want to run. You know what I'm saying? I get it.
Well, the thing about that, logically, I'm not saying that I would do this. I'm just saying logically, just looking at any of the situations that happen. If you stay there and get arrested, you're going to go to jail. If you run and you're able to get away, you don't.
But you still run the risk of having.
No, that's true.
Right. Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
But
go ahead.
I mean,
I'm going to hear the rest of this.
But what I'm saying is, you have a better chance of getting away if you put everything into getting away versus standing there and not getting away. Now, the thing is, people do what they're going to do. I wouldn't do that because I don't have any warrants and I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. However, at the same time,
Right.
you have a much better chance of getting away if you get away. And standing there wouldn't be getting away.
Right.
I'm just saying. I mean,
No, you're good. No, it's just the way I look at it, man. It's just the it's just everything that's going on. It's kind of like, you know, when they give you the excuses and or explanations, quote unquote, of why something happened, like with the second lieutenant colonel. Why was it assumed that he was just bullshitting the cop and the cop maced him 3 times? Or you want to ride the lightning? I never heard that phrase before until now. Like, that kind of blew me. I'm like, wait a minute. You're telling me you're fucking with a dude that's in the military? And I was reading an article, too, today, while I was at work. I was reading an article. It said that they don't want to issue an apology. The chief of police doesn't think he should issue an apology. The cop has been fired. He has been relieved of duty. But he doesn't think he should issue an apology. I'm like, wait a fucking minute, hold on.
This goes back to what I said about how military men and women get treated after
And all this just being pulled over because they didn't see his tags because they was in the passenger back window. Right, because the windows were tinted on the back the tinted window on the back of the truck is so dark you can't see it at night. He put it on the passenger window, which the cop couldn't see. Now, given the lieutenant did say, given the knowledge that he had of what's been going on, he didn't want to take a chance being on a dark road, so that's why he pulled into the gas station. Which is fair because you want to feel safe.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the police want to feel safe, and they want to feel so safe that they want to put you in handcuffs to make them and you be safe. But
right.
It doesn't really make you safe if you're in handcuffs and they start beating the crap out of you.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Once again, it goes back to what I said. Why the fuck should I serve this country knowing that there's a bunch of ungrateful motherfuckers that's willing to screw me up?
Well, the thing is, I mean, being in the military wouldn't be the reason why you get screwed over. It's just being not a police officer. Even if you're a police officer, that can happen to you. So,
but these
because that actually has happened.
No, yeah, that is true. But the way these military vets get treated.
And don't get me wrong, some of them are assholes though too.
No,
they're straight up assholes.
Well, yeah, it's like, what? Do you know why I pulled you over? Because you got C's in high school.
Okay. Got it.
At least you said C's.
Because you beat your wife pretty good.
Oh, that's bogus. Right. Because look, the thing is, and this is horrible. I know there are actually intelligent police officers. I know some. The thing is, if you're too smart, they won't let you into the police academy.
Because you'll notice all the fallacies in there and try to change it. I mean, tell me I'm wrong, because like everybody says, just because there's one bad apple in the bunch doesn't make it a bad bunch. No. But don't listen. Hear me out though, because I've heard this saying so many times. But it's like, but at the same time, if you have a sick limb on the body, in order to get rid of the infection, you have to remove the limb.
No, you don't remove it.
I mean,
cut it off.
Isn't that the same thing?
Well, it is,
but it's just more vulgar. He wants to be more vulgar about it. No, but that's the thing though. If you have multiple bad cops that you know are for sure problems, why not take them out and replace them with people who actually have a fucking brain between their fucking ears?
Like, okay, so I used to, every once in a while I would watch Cops. And
boys, what you gonna,
right.
what you gonna
And
do?
the thing about that is that I would see the same thing over and over again. I mean, police are able to legally to lie to get you to confess to things.
That's entrapment.
Well, no, that's not entrapment.
That's not entrapment.
That's not entrapment.
All right.
Entrapment would be.
Oh, never mind. I'm stupid. Never mind.
No. I mean, my understanding of entrapment would be if I'm a police officer and I told you, hey, you want to buy these drugs? They're right there. Just buy them. Like, okay, just
Bet.
Oh, no. No, I mean, I'm saying that. I mean,
Yeah, that's entrapment. Yeah, I know. I just kind of
Thank
figured out.
God.
But no, my bad. No, you know what? That's not the word I'm looking for.
This.
That's not the word I'm looking for. The word I was looking for is coercing.
yes.
Thank you. My dumbass said entrapment. I'm stupid.
Well, no, that's fine. But the thing about it though is like I'm watching this stuff, and it's like some of the questions they ask don't even make sense.
Bad.
Like I can't even. The thing is, I can't even think of any of them. But like I watch, and it's like, why are you like is it okay if I search your car?
No.
Well, I mean, if you don't have anything to hide, then if you don't have anything to hide, why are you wearing clothes? I mean, seriously, like...
You want to know a secret? Under these clothes, I'm naked.
Swapping.
Yeah.
Look, I'm saying, like, okay, one of the things that I found out some years ago is, like, one, if you talk to the police, don't. Like, if they ask you questions, I'm not talking to you, get my lawyer. Am I being detained or am I free to go? That's the only thing that you should... And if they say that you are being detained... Then it's like, okay, why am I being like? What are the charges going to be, or any of that stuff? You know. So the thing is, if they ever say that, could you come here? I'm gonna,
Calm down.
One of the things I've noticed is that if you ask them what's wrong or what they're being charged with, they're going to put you in handcuffs before they tell you because it's not going to be good.
Right.
Whatever that is. Whatever it is. Whatever, it doesn't make a difference. Mm-hmm. I do my best to not being in a situation where I would even deal with police officers, regardless of who they are. I mean, if I know the police officer, oh, yeah, how's it going, whatever. But there was one time I woke up in the morning, and I normally don't wear a coat. Like, regardless of whatever the temperature is, I normally have a t-shirt, and I go to the bus. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I left my house. I saw the police going to one of my neighbors' houses. They were knocking on the door, and it's like, I'm looking, I'm like, okay. I had my face shield on and my mask on, and I'm running to catch the bus. And so I'm, going to the bus and everything. Mm-hmm. And then at a certain point, the police pull up, and I'm like, what's going on here? It's like, oh, well, we saw you and you didn't have a jacket on. And it's like, okay. Well, I mean, it's cold out here. Oh, that's true. I mean, I'm trying to figure out why you're coming. I mean, is there a crime that's being committed somewhere that you could probably prevent or something? You're coming and talking to me while I'm not doing anything except for walking down the street. I mean, I don't know. I mean, hey, whatever.
All it will take is say, hey, boy, what you doing? Like, look.
Right. For instance, this is why
I like how you want to say my dumb ass.
No, I was about to say that.
Got that shit so quick.
Right. But my father, he has a degree in criminology and psychology. And he is one of the few people to take those 2 degrees, join the law enforcement, and use it against them. But he also taught me a lot, which goes back to the adult advice as a kid. Because my dad taught me how to handle law enforcement ever since I was a kid. Because it's what he knew. So whenever I got into a situation, I knew how to handle it. So that way, because when you're in front of a cop as a black man, the goal isn't not to get arrested. The goal is to be able to go home.
Yep.
Yeah.
The goal is to go home.
You're not wrong.
I don't want to be my next encounter with the cop my last encounter because they have to bury me after the fact.
Bridge.
I don't want to because it's a double-edged sword when dealing with law enforcement. There are legit cops that follow the badge and get caught in a situation in which a person makes a dumb decision and they have to make a decision. Is it my life or yours?
Right.
Now, unfortunately, the bad side to that is that they take that same thing and they target people. They target you.
You know,
Like if you're a felon, let's say if you're a felon,
A turned around felon.
a turned around felon, there are police officers that will go out their way to make sure you stay a felon. There are police officers out there that's willing to look at your record and whenever a crime is committed that fits along to shit that you used to do, that you since stopped doing and went legit and said that life isn't me anymore, they will come back to you and antagonize you.
you know, the interesting thing is that police and criminals have the same psychological profile.
That is a fact.
So if that's the case, then it's just as likely that you did it as I did it. But I mean, you just never got caught. So where were you at 3 o'clock on Friday? I mean,
Like,
seriously.
Fucking your wife.
Right.
Right. Take the what's his name? Deontay Wright.
Oh, Dante, right? Yeah.
Dante Wright situation. That officer, I'm pretty sure she was a good cop. I'm almost certain. Because you can tell by the way she naturally reacted to the situation, none of that shit was her intent. She didn't get fired, she resigned.
Yeah. I'm not gonna be.
She
I'm not
had
even mad
no
at that.
intentions on killing that man.
I'm not mad.
That's why I agree with the manslaughter charge. That was not her intent.
So what about the black dude that got killed over his brake light then?
Who? Fernando Castillo?
No. This big black dude. It was a Suburban. He got or Tahoe. He got pulled over. I think it was a taillight that was out, and she ended up shooting him too.
No,
I
that
can't
was
remember.
wrong.
I cannot remember his fucking name to save my life.
No, that was wrong. Period.
I think it was in Oklahoma, somewhere around there.
No, that was wrong. Flat out. That was just flat out wrong.
And Tornado's because
But
Castillo
then
was
again,
even worse too.
Once again, double-edged sword. You can do everything right and still get killed. Ask Fernando Castillo. He did everything right. He let them know what was in his glove compartment. He kept his hands up. He told them, no, I'm a registered gun owner. There is a gun in the car. It's in the glove compartment.
Hey, reach for your wallet for me. Cool. Bang, 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 bang.
He told them out the gate. He did everything right and still got shot by that fucking coward.
Did anything happen to him? I cannot remember.
No, he got away with it.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of couldn't remember.
But at the same time, it depends. Like, Minnesota is a shit state. Look at what's happening now. These two incidents happened in Minnesota. Deontay Wright happened in Minnesota.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
George Floyd happened in Minnesota.
I'm pretty sure that the training that the police officers go through are probably going to have to change. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot more shootings.
And it's not going
Damn
to be
the training.
and the
I
thing-
will clean house,
Well, no.
including the fucking mayor.
No, you don't
I
get
would
it.
want to clean house.
No, you don't get it.
No,
You're
but
not getting to the
let me
root of
listen
the
to
problem.
you. Let me
You're not
listen.
So you're not getting to the root of the problem.
Okay.
Well, I guess there are multiple roots. But one of the roots is that the training that they go through, they tell them that they are going to kill you. So, that's one of the reasons why police always, they tend to go for their guns a lot quicker than you think they should.
Right.
It's like, I'm not doing anything. Why do you have your gun out?
Like, for instance, I used to do security at UPS, and sometimes they bring off-duty officers to watch the machine for weapons. And there was this one particular cop. He for some reason, even though it necessarily didn't call for it because nobody in the building had a weapon, and you have an X-ray machine in front of you that shows you weapons, for some reason, his hand was always on the trigger of his gun.
Wait, why would he have to have his on the trigger? That's not good.
Yes, he kept it on his hip, hand inside the trigger. And I looked at that dude. I looked at my boss at the time. So I give this motherfucker about 6 to 8 months before we see his name in the news for shooting some goddamn body. He got his hand on the trigger too much. There are cops out there that's trigger happy. There are cops out there who are bully and want to take it out on you by being cops.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I say this, listen, you ignorant motherfuckers. Let me tell y'all one motherfucking thing. When I say these things, I don't know the percentages, but I know it's not 100. Okay? It's not 100. It will never be 100. Because I don't know the minds of these people. And another thing, when we say something about a group of people, we know good and goddamn well it's not 100. We don't have to say not all. I hate when people do these stupid ass arguments saying, well, it's not a... Bitch, I know that. You know what? You know why it would never be all? For one thing and one thing only. Regardless of what you say, death is promised. People die. We will never know that person's mind because that person is dead. There are kids who don't even live long enough to see this world that are dead. So as long as there is death, we will never know all. Because how can we know the mind of a dead person? We can only assume and go off the people that knew that person. But we will never know that person as long as there is death in this world. As long as our life expires, we will never know all of anything. Because if we actually knew all and people would know we're immortal, I'll be talking to Frederick Douglass right motherfucking now. I'll be understanding the mind of Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. I'm understanding their minds if we had immortality. So that way I can know all, but wait, kids die. So that means the kids that we lost will have to grow up. You see what I'm saying? As long as they're deaf, we will never know all. So please, if you watch this shit, if the first thing that comes out your mouth is not all, don't watch our shit. Period. Unless you just like arguing.
Like I said, I know plenty of police officers. As a matter of fact, some of the people that I was in the military with became police officers, and they're awesome.
No,
so
for instance, I used to work at Barrel House Social in downtown LaGrange. Great bar, beautiful people, except that one manager, he got on the power trip and said, he's cool, but fuck that guy. I used to work there, and I used to work late at nights. And I would get out about 1, 2 in the morning, and I would call a lift or wait for my aunt or somebody to come pick me up. Now, it was neighbors over there that would see me walk out that building, and they would call the cops on me. Every time. And it happened about 3, 4 times. The 4th time it happened, I was lucky enough to run into a cop I went to school with. And she, one day, she was like, I got a call saying they said there was a suspicious person out here. And, you know, she was up front with me. I said, nah, I work here. I can show you my time card if you like. She's like, okay, that's fine. I showed her my time card. She says, okay, you good. She said, you look familiar. I said, you do too. Did you go to Proviso West? She was like, yeah. And we had we had an urban history class together. The irony in that. But we had an urban history class together. And she became a cop. And I'm glad that she approached the situation like she did. Because her approach changed when she realized I look familiar. And she's like, maybe he just works here. So let me ask him. And like I said, I've never had too many bad experiences with cops. I've had a few. But most of my experiences with law enforcement has been positive. Like I said, I look at everything from both sides. I look at where the cop has been wrong, and I look where the civilian can be wrong. And then I make my decision based off that. When I looked at the Dwayne Wright situation, I looked where the cop went wrong, and I looked where he went wrong. Now, unfortunately,
he was massively in the wrong.
He was massively in the wrong. But her wrong was so astronomical.
I almost damn near counts it all is.
Basically. Because her one wrong ended his life when it didn't have to end. But his many wrongs is the reason he's not here.
Exactly.
Because you have to be more responsible as a person. That goes from both sides of the spectrum. That goes from the person holding the gun and the person standing in front of the trigger. Because there's a timeline for everything. And that timeline is how you get to that point. What did you do in your life prior to get you in front of a gun of a police officer? And what did that police officer do to get into a point where that person has to use their gun on you?
Flashback. Ooh.
You see what I'm saying? No, it sounds crazy, but it makes sense. And his terrible decision making got him in front of a gun of a police officer. Well, this wouldn't be a story and he just said, you know what? Maybe it's time I accept responsibility for the stupid shit that I did and grow from this.
Exactly. You got a kid. So.
Instead, you run. Now, it could be out of fear. Maybe he wanted to.
You know, it's interesting about that. Police will say and cite, and I'm only saying the ones that do say that. Like, I mean, people have heard them say this. I feared for my life. Well, you have a gun. You have me in handcuffs or whatever, and you think that I'm not fearing for my life? The reason why people run is part of that. Also, they want to get away and such. But you've actually been trained to deal with this, and you're in fear for your life. But somehow, civilians who haven't gone through that training are supposed to be totally comfortable in a situation where someone could kill them and get away with it.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be totally calm and relaxed, even though you have a gun and you could use it and nothing would happen. Ideally, sometimes.
No, which is why I say it's a double-edged sword to this shit. Because in order for cops to understand what they're doing is wrong, someone has to be made an example out of. There has to be an example. Someone has to be made an example. Someone has to go to jail and face the harshest sentence possible. Someone has to get convicted. Someone has to learn a lesson. Because there's too many instances where cops are getting away with murder.
Yeah,
this been going on since before my time.
Apparently, they've removed qualified immunity from police officers, and I don't know which states there are, but qualified immunity is where if they kill someone in the line of duty, then they get off scot-free. But they've removed that. I don't know exactly where those areas are, but they removed it so if they were to kill someone, even by accident, they could still get in trouble. I mean, in bad trouble.
Yeah, I feel like, just like when people say defund the police, shut the fuck up. At the end of the day, these cops have to still feed their families, and it's not all. That leads to a lot of people arguments. But it's not all cops that's doing this. Now, as far as these bad apples, you get rid of bad apples by holding them responsible. You gotta plant new seeds and get rid of the bad ones.
Duh. But then
But
the problem is, what if that bad seed's your CEO?
Who gives a shit?
That's the problem.
Everybody
does because that man has power that everybody's afraid of.
Nobody's above responsibility.
This is true, but at the same time, that bad seed, if it holds control over the other seeds, guess what?
I'm like Batman. Give me enough time to plan, I will fuck a whole county up.
Well, that's the problem.
And I don't have to put a hand on you.
That's the problem.
No, people.
You got too many people who are afraid
people need
of
to think more
their
strategically.
higher-ups.
I fear no man above me in power. Bitch, I have the ability to go above you.
That's the problem. Because even still, the people, the don't get me wrong now, that's fine. But not everybody's gonna be like that too. Just because they're on the force. Sometimes those type of people are actually afraid to go above and beyond. Because when they do, they face retaliation from the actual person that's there right now.
No, that is true. That is true.
That's why most people don't go above and beyond.
No, but at the same time, you gotta be prepared for that.
Nobody's ever prepared for when they're getting retaliated on.
No, that's why I say if I was Batman, I would prepare for it. Because all it takes is one domino.
Exactly, it does take one
All it takes
domino.
is one domino.
But it also takes one misplaced domino to stop it.
No, if I'm involved in a situation, I'm not gonna tell anybody shit. I'm a plan.
But it usually
because I know what I'm about to do. I know my actions following this. I know as a man with morals, this cuts against me. But what I will do, I'm gonna put myself into a position where my next move is checkmate.
But the problem is,
I'm not playing chess with these motherfuckers. I'm not playing checkers with these motherfuckers. I'm playing chess. I'm here to yell checkmate. My move will be checkmate.
But the problem is, though, Donnie, when you tango, it's two people.
No, I understand. I don't give a fuck who I tango with. I'm gonna be the last nigga dancing.
Alright.
I'm prepared for this.
Right.
I'm not afraid of shit. What the fuck you gonna do? Kill me? Guess what? Death is promised. I know this is coming. I fear nothing that I already know is gonna happen. But I will die on my word. I will die on that ledge.
That's fine, bro. But some people bend.
Some people
have a breaking point.
Some people don't. Some people don't do that. And I reach my breaking point. I reach my breaking point. So it's like what Noriega said. If you push me and I shoot you, you can't get mad at how I reacted. You shouldn't have put your fucking hands on me. So if you fuck me over and I fuck up your career, guess what? You worked hard for that. You shouldn't have tried it with me.
You're not wrong.
And I am prepared to die on that ledge. I will stand on that ledge with a fucking AK on my hands and I will shoot till the clip is empty. You're gonna have to earn this kill. Suck my dick. You're gonna have to earn this kill.
Alright.
I'm prepared for that.
I'm not arguing with that.
No, I'm prepared for that. I don't give a fuck about anybody else's feelings. I'm talking about mine. I, Dontavius, will die on that ledge. And I will go out swinging. And I'm not going to kill you by using fabricated anything. Nothing will be fabricated in any statement I will ever say about a person. I'm killing you with facts only because you can't argue that shit. You can't argue what really happened. People try all day. That's the problem with this world. People try to argue facts. and they trash at it.
Facts with feelings.
People, I said it earlier. Facts over feelings. People try to argue facts all day.
You mean feelings? Try to argue feelings all day without facts.
No,
they use their feelings to argue facts. They use their feelings to argue facts. It's almost like what these idiots was doing with the Trump administration. Like, they don't realize that they use hate to combat hate. Because you kept saying Trump was full of hatred. Come hate this. No proof behind anything they were saying.
Until he was actually proving it himself.
No, they didn't hate Trump because they thought he was racist. They hated him because he told the truth.
Oh, yeah.
They hated him because he told the truth. Donald Trump's problem was he was too proud to be an American. That was his problem.
Is anybody ever too proud?
Yes.
Are you ever too proud to be anything? Is a real question.
Yeah, that is a good question. But yes, they use hate for that man. Hatred literally got 72 million people to vote. And they don't realize they are no different from the Trump supporters they speak about.
Yeah.
Please correct me if I'm wrong.
You know, it's funny. I've been waiting to hear people say bad things about Biden. Now the thing is, I didn't say anything bad about Trump. I was just watching the ensuing chaos.
I didn't say anything bad about Trump, but I only pointed out where he did wrong, and he actually did it wrong.
Yeah. The thing is that we were hearing left. I mean, there was one time that Rachel Maddow was saying like she didn't know what was wrong with the president, and I was trying to see what she was looking at based off the clip that she was showing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the one where somebody said something. I think it was the one with that the lady who was asking about why are you calling it the Chinese flu or whatever the Chinese.
Oh yeah, and he just like disregarded her.
Yeah, and it's like no, ask the Chinese. And then she took her mask off and said, "Excuse me." Like, are you saying that because I'm Asian or something? I don't remember exactly what she said.
More than
she
likely,
said, I'm not talking to you anymore. Next, but no, next. And so the lady came up to talk, and the other lady who was sitting, she was still sitting down. She had glasses on, and she was saying, well, she asked some other question, and it's like, oh, you're not going to talk? Yeah, I'm done. And he just walked off, right? Rachel Maddow said, I don't know what's wrong with the president. I don't know what to say. I mean, he's obviously lost it. I'm like, are we watching the same thing? Like, well, lost it how? Like, he
that's what
didn't
happens
want
when you're the left.
Right, but you're saying that he lost it because he didn't want to interact with that particular reporter because she said something that was out of pocket. One. Two, he didn't want to talk to the other reporter because she didn't say anything when he was expecting a question from her, and he let the previous reporter talk. Like, you know what? I'm done. How is that she doesn't know what's happening? Literally what you saw was what happened. And the thing is, I'm not saying that Trump was right for leaving the press conference. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not a good PR move. But I'm just saying, how exactly did the president lose it, or the expert, whatever? How did Trump lose it because of that particular situation? I don't know what she was looking at.
No, that's because, like, when you're part of the left, the void of responsibility is a big thing. Because the left don't take responsibility for their actions. It's always someone else's fault, even if it's a million fingers pointed at them. That's the left. And I'm a lefty. Fucking hate leftists. Now, I don't disagree with everything the left has to say, but I disagree with a lot.
No, see, the thing is, what really got on my nerves, though, is with all the protests, the ones that people were actually chilling and protesting peacefully.
I told motherfuckers that Black Lives Matter was a piece of shit organization.
People's get shot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching cops use, like, paintball markers with pepper balls in them, shooting people. And people ain't doing shit. We're just chilling. We're just chilling, literally saying, hey, that was wrong. This is my right. Nah, get out. Get out, we'll make you get out. Go ahead.
But didn't do
like,
shit when motherfuckers stormed the Capitol.
right. Now, see, you know what I'm saying? Segueing into that, you know, a part of me was like, man, I want to go down that bitch. I want to grab my gear. I want to go down that bitch and help people defend themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like that part of me wanted to do that because it's like, that's not fair. You know what I mean? That's not fair. People, I watched the video. People were sitting on the hill, grass hill, in front of a building, protesting, tear gassed up. A lady died because she had asthma and she got tear gassed. And some people, I saw the comments. Some people said she shouldn't have been there. What the fuck you mean? What the fuck you mean? Their right to do what they want to do.
It's their First Amendment right.
Right. You're telling me that bitch had no reason to be there? Like, she had every reason to be there. She believes somebody's life was lost because of somebody's stupidity, somebody's ignorance, somebody's blatant disregard for human safety. You're telling me that could have been me, because I could have told your ass, hey, I'm going downtown to fucking protest. I could have been one of the people dead.
Right.
I could have been that nigga. You probably would have been the next nigga to go downtown like, hey, I'm protesting for my boy. He came down here to protest peacefully, and he died because they threw tear gas at him. And then when we went to go use his inhaler, they snatched it away from him and threw that bitch. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what gets under my skin. Like,
no,
you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's not fair. Because that means I can't, if I actually want to do something, let's say if I have kids, I don't want to have kids, by the way, but let's say if I have kids and this shit continues, right? You guys have kids too, then they go to protest. One of your kids gets severely hurt, paralyzed, something life changing, because they chose to do something what they thought was right. Now you're a parent, you're angry because it's like, what the fuck? Why is it that we can't, when we were trying to do this in our time and age, nothing was done, and nothing's still getting done?
Right.
Because I don't know Malcolm X as much, but I know down the timeline where we went from peaceful Martin Luther King to Malcolm X, fuck them, let's shoot back. Am I right or wrong? Somebody correct me, because
No, that's why I respect.
Am I right on that though?
No, I respect Malcolm X more.
I apologize. I'm sorry. I should know more, but that's what I pretty much.
It's the reason I respect Malcolm X more than I do Martin Luther King.
But you always remember, you always got to start off with peace first, because when they throw the first stone, that's when I can go in. Because that's the hard part of remembering my one major sin. Just when they put their hands on you, all bets are off. That
was Martin Luther King's problem.
Yes, but
turn the other cheek so they can slap that one. No, I'm shooting you in your shit.
Right, but the thing is, like the old saying goes, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind.
You're right.
That's right.
Take two eyes first.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. But that's my thing. You know me. I'm philosophical. Like, I'm not a violent person. I talk about violence a lot, but I'm not a very violent person. But like, if you hurt me or mine, it is on like Donkey Kong. Like, I am not.
No, that's the only time you should be violent.
Yeah, but some people aren't. But some people aren't like that because it's not in their nature. Like I said,
that's true.
It's not in their nature. But my boy, who's a pacifist, no, guarantee you, I will tell you this. And if he ever watches this video, he knows I will never in my life throw hands against that man. Because the old saying goes, the quiet ones are always the craziest. I will never in my life throw hands against him. I will threaten to hit him, but I will never do it. Not only because he's my brother, you know what I'm saying? Like, I may, give him a light tap, but I will never full on be like, I'm going to whoop your ass. Never. Not once has that man ever did me bogus. Not once has that man ever turned away from me whenever I needed help. You know what I mean? And I'm completely afraid of his hands. That's the only person in this world, aside from my own mother, I'm afraid of those hands. I've never once seen him fight. The one time he's ever fought, I've never seen it. So just know, like, you can fight everybody else, but that one person you fuck with heavily, just know their hands are probably just as lethal as yours, if not worse.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't believe in just being.
Just do it first. Do peaceful first.
Violent. You have to work hard for me to beat your ass.
Which is not hard at all.
Which is not hard at all.
That's a fucking shame. I was joking. No, it should be very hard to get you to the point where
it's very difficult now because of the place of peace I met mentally. And that's
Bullshit.
really.
No,
That's
bullshit.
because I met people like him who taught me how to get rid of that negative shit or take a bad memory and make it a distant one.
But you can't see it. It's there. It's just
It's there. I just can't, no.
Well, the thing is, if you can't see it, then
Is it really there?
right. So
But isn't that just repressing memories then?
no,
No? Okay. Well, because repressing memories would just be pushing it down and hiding it, right?
no, I didn't say pushing down. I said pushing away. There's a difference.
You said push it.
No, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I said. But repressing memories is just pushing you down and away. But you're saying make it distant, just keep going because I can't see you no more. Okay. It's still there, just I can't see you.
Yeah, I just can't see.
I mean, ideally, the edge of the universe is there, but you can't see it, and it doesn't affect you.
And it's ever expanding.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's ever expanding.
Right, but you still can't see it,
This is true.
and it doesn't affect you.
Not wrong.
No, but that's what he's taught me over time. And plus, when I was in Japan, I learned how to meditate, which helped suppress a lot of the anger I used to have.
Well, you wouldn't want to suppress it.
Well, it helped get.
That's not what
No, I used the wrong word.
No.
It helped get rid of a lot of anger that I had.
So suppressing anger or even expressing anger is not good for you. It's just it does some things with.
Shit, I know that. I damn near had 2 heart attacks.
And that would be the issue that would wind up happening. Ideally, you're supposed to limit. Well,
No, I had a heart attack.
No,
but
I know.
I had a second.
Right. I'm trying to think of the proper word for this. When you anger or any emotion that's of a negative quality, you would want to be able to learn from the situation that caused the anger in the first place. And the cool thing is that once you learn the lesson that you were supposed to learn from that emotion, you don't have to have the emotion can just go away and you can get the learnings from the situation. That is the best way to go about it. The second best
Being productive is
is
what you
to-
think. Being productive with your anger. Using your anger to be productive, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, good.
No,
'Cause I was about to, my brain was like, if he's saying being productive with your anger.
No,
just
I mean, no,
do it.
that is a thing to do, but no, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, ideally, when you go through something that caused some emotion,
Okay.
you're going to have the situation that was there and the emotions that
Linked
was
to it.
also there. Once you learn what you need to learn from the situation, you no longer need to have the old emotions.
Like, for instance,
Okay.
me and Vince had a private conversation. This is the time we was talking to about 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I forgot the exact exercise you had me to do, but it actually made me cry. I forgot what it was. And it was pertaining to my ex. I think that was,
No.
what was it talking about?
It was, I mean, do you want to...
Yeah, no, we can talk about it.
It was the one where you were thrown up into the air and the doorbell rang.
Okay, yeah. My childhood. And he took that painful moment in my life, and like I said, it actually made me cry. And even I was kind of mad. I was like, yo, don't let me do that again. But I needed that. Like, I needed that to happen. Which I truly appreciate you for doing that. But the fact that you have that ability to take a painful moment such as that one, relive it, and redesign it in your head as to where it doesn't affect you as much or it doesn't affect you at all anymore. Like, that was great for me. And like, what people don't understand is that I take pride in meditating smoking weed and keeping great people around me.
Okay.
No, really, I take pride in keeping great people around me. Like, I want to learn from the people I'm around. If you're not learning anything, you're not evolving.
I do my best to learn something new every day.
But that's naturally you. You want to learn every day. Therefore, you evolve every single day. You become a better version of yourself every single day. It's almost like Pokemon training for humans. Think about it. It's Pokemon. Your Pokemon gets stronger with every encounter.
I'm still looking for some rare candy.
Hey, who knows? But at the same time, you train your mind to evolve every day. And I like to be around people that helps my mind think about these things and create these exercises that's going to help me grow over time. I don't kick it. I kick it with you not only because you're my friend, it's because I learn something new literally every time we talk. And I take that exercise and I try to make it a part of my daily life. No, like seriously, even with you, Harold, I learned things.
Okay.
Harold is a benevolent asshole, but I learned something from him. You are pleasant being yourself. You're a low-key benevolent asshole.
Look, all I'm saying is, man, it's just it takes a lot to a point where, for some people, it takes a while for them to realize what they did wrong. To realize what they've been wrong.
For instance, let's go back to when I said there was a lot of women that's tried to ruin my life.
Fuck your problems.
One woman in particular, I think I told you her name, but I'm not gonna say it.
Gang.
She is my youngest sister's mother. My dad married her. The first time I met her was in Texas. She was a bitch. And she didn't particularly like me.
Who does?
At that time, I don't give a fuck.
Gang shit.
I don't care. No, I gotta hear her.
I know. I got you in front of this too, my guy. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at Vince. He's just like these fucks, man.
God damn it.
I'm pretty.
No, I got the air horn right here. No, but seriously, she was a bitch. She didn't like me. I didn't give a fuck. You're just here because my dad liked you. I don't have to like you. I don't. She tried to fuck with me as a kid. My dad put a stop to that. We go to Japan. Unfortunately, he's about to divorce this bitch, but legally he's still married to that bitch. She tries it again. Try to force feed me religion with this creepy ass pastor that look like he touched little boys. And you want me around this bitch ass nigga? No. Fuck that, atheist. Who is this nigga Jesus? I don't know him.
That's one main thing I have an issue with religion too. I didn't mention it because it didn't cross my mind. Is why are not more and more people getting upset at the fact that there are priests touching on little boys? That's the main thing that gets on my nerves. That's one thing I've never said to my sister. One thing I've never said to her. Because you know why? Because out of respect for her mother, I brought it up to my mom. She said that's a very good point. But knowing how my sister is, she don't want that. She don't want me saying shit that'll trigger my sister. Because there are things, like I said, I went to a private high school. All religion class, like most religion classes, I'll learn a thing or two. And I can quote the fucking Bible. Not verse for verse, but I can quote the Bible. I'll say it on the slide shit like, hey, doesn't that say somewhere in the Bible you ain't supposed to do that shit? Like, take for instance.
Like talk to you about anything?
Pretty much.
She's a woman?
Yes. Or no, I didn't even see
yes.
that. I probably didn't pay attention as much, but...
That's one. Yes, it is.
She's Christian, I think, or Catholic. It's either one. They're still the same thing, essentially. I mean, they're part of the same tree, right? I'm trying to think. Yeah, so my brother-in-law bet my nephew for the PS4. This is when I was picking it up. I have it at the house right now. He bet him for the PS4 to keep it, like him for himself. My nephew is very good at basketball. This boy is 15. He's already like 5'9".
Nice.
Yeah, I'm 5'8". That pisses me off because I want to be tall, but it's okay. My Harold Senior was about 6'2". My mom's 5'5", so I got the middle end of the stick there, ish. Mom's jeans kicked in a little bit, but yeah. So this kid's really good at basketball. My brother-in-law, whatever. He's only like 5'5" ish, 5'4". He's short dude. Stocky dude. So he challenged him. My nephew was like, yeah, that's easy. My nephew told me he cheated. Like, Emmanuel cheated in the game to win for the PS4. Knowing my mouth, I was talking with Emmanuel, and he's like, oh, you didn't tell your uncle that you bet the PS4? And he's like, all right, go look for it. And when he sent them away, I looked at my brother-in-law, I'm like, isn't gambling a sin? Straight up said that. And I know in the back of my head, my mom was like, no, you did not say that. Like, don't say it. I ended up saying it. He looked at me, he's like, no, gambling isn't a sin. I'm like, yes, it is. That's one of the, gambling is a sin. That is gluttony. It's gluttony, because it's greed. No, greed. Greed, thank you. I was like, that's greed. That's an awful sin right there, my guy. He's like, no. I'm like, I left it alone. Because if I would have kept going, he probably would have told my sister, and then she would have called my mama, and I would have got a phone call. Shit falls down.
But you like talking to your mother.
Oh, I love talking to my mother. The only thing my mom doesn't like is the fact.
Go back and tell him.
Huh?
You should go back and tell him.
Well, no, I told my parents how I said it. They were really. My mom was like, "You did not say that." I was like, "Oh yeah, I did," and I didn't dig deep. I like to dig the hole, but I don't dig very deep because out of respect. I would, but out of respect for my mother, because she likes to see her grandchildren. My sister, for some odd reason, has threatened my mother. Has threatened my mother with not being able to see her grandchildren.
Yeah.
Right. And here's
that's not a very Christian thing to do.
I stole the credit for me. Another thing my sister has done, which blows my parents' mind every time, is that she made her children. When she had Chance, when she met Emmanuel and got married to Emmanuel, she made Chance call him dad.
Hold on 1 second. I can do something.
And my parents could not understand for the life of them why. Why would you do such a thing? If I didn't do it, why would you do it? And I even thought to myself, like, you never did that. Like, you never made me or her call Basil dad. With, my stepfather. So we never called him dad. He actually, honestly, he's actually earned it. There's been a few times where I caught myself calling him dad. Over the phone. There's been a few times. You good?
Yeah, I'm trying something right now.
Oh, you got a phone call? Hey! We got a phone call.
This is Ricky.
So, how are we going to hear it?
No, that's what I'm trying to figure out now. This is some new shit.
I'm not trying to do it like I'm not trying to do it like over the phone, bro.
No, I can take phone calls, bro.
Got him.
I'm not trying to do it over the phone like fine over the phone.
Too late.
You're already there, buddy.
It's all good, bro.
Gang shit.
I'm just not in the mood for fine over the phone, bro. I'm just being real with you.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'll call you after we done.
I'm just pissed off.
No, it's all good. I'll call you after the
You
pod.
need me to rough somebody up for you?
Gang shit, I'll go get my paintball shit right now. Say less.
What is he talking about?
This nigga say he'll get his paintball gun.
That's how you come here, baby. I got 7 of them.
Ignore this nigga.
Alright, bro.
Ignore this nigga. I'm gonna call you after the pod.
I got 7 of them. Locked and loaded. But anyway, yes, my mom still can't understand the fact. Sometimes when my mom asks me questions, about the past, I honestly think back and I'm like, my sister making me feel like shit. And she said, no, this is just me. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Because honestly, if my sister ever makes my mom feel like shit, it's like, dude, what the fuck? My mom's been through enough. and you gave her grandkids. She ain't getting none from me. She getting fur babies. She got 3 grandkids, and I mean, like, don't get me wrong, the kids are extremely smart. Mom made it a very high point because her mother was an English teacher. Education was very important because she didn't want us, quote unquote, in her very own words, I don't want you growing up like these niggas out in the street. That was her words, and I was like, damn.
Those were my parents' words.
I don't want you growing up like these niggas out in the street. So you're going to get educated. So, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. It has gotten me plenty of jobs. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty cool with most of the managers. It works. But, I mean, like, at the end of the day, it's just the things that my mother did when we were growing up that, you know, I was like, okay, you know, to me, it works. If a kid deserves some hands, just give him a few. That's it. Because it actually surprised me one day when my nephew told me that, you know, grandma hit me. I'm like, what? What? I told my mom, you hit Chance? She's like, yeah, I punched him in his mouth. I was like, what? Like, full fist? She's like, yeah. I'm like, hey, that boy still standing? She's like, I didn't hit him hard. He got braces hair on. I'm like, oh. I'm like, oh, because like, this is coming from the same woman who broke a bamboo sword over a fucking fence. Aluminum fence. Like, bamboo is pretty hard to break. That's scary. And you're looking at me like, yeah. It's to me, it's a very, very scary idea. Like, my mother has destroyed some shit out of anger, and I can see where I get the anger from. So it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I take that, whatever pisses her off, like, you earned that shit. And if you said some shit you weren't supposed to be saying to my mother, like, you kind of earned it, bro. Because to this day, she's 62 years old. Her birthday was in March. Happy birthday. Her birthday was in March 23rd. She, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's already done enough. But if you done pissed off this woman at the age she's at, and she pops you in the mouth, bro, you deserve it. Like, I'm still afraid of her. I don't know what she could do to me. She knows shit I don't know. So she's told me before too, I could kill you and nobody would even know it's me. I could leave no trace. I'm not fucking with that. I will poke the bear, but I will not wake it. Let's put it that way.
Why would you poke the bear?
Because sometimes you're an idiot and you want to see what the bear will do. If the bear will
reminds me of
speak for yourself.
That's what reminds me of that. What was it, episode 3? You said I'm not gonna.
Like, why would you? Oh man.
Okay, I'm sorry. I said I'm an idiot. I did say this. I did say this.
I get it. But previously on the Judgment podcast, we were talking about
3 fucking hours in, and now
hey, shit triggers, bro. Shit triggers.
Yeah, we were talking about how stupid you'd have to be to go into a forest and start smacking wolves and bears. Like, why would you do that? Knowing that they have claws, teeth, stronger than you, faster than you, and there's probably more than one of them. But somehow, women think that it's a good idea to smack men.
Oh, see, I follow Donnie's, mantra, that equal rights deserve equal less.
Yes.
What about uppercuts?
if it also deserves, if it's deserving.
If it's
I mean, to be honest with you, I've told people too, like,
but
you know what I'm saying? Like,
fuck is deadly.
Like, I told people too, like, I think everybody deserves something, because you just ain't gonna be smacking on a dude and just be like, oh, you can't hit me, I'm a woman. The fuck? Like that dude did on the subway in New York. She was drunk, acting belligerent. Dude moved away from her, but she still antagonized him. So the moment he went, everybody want to jump in, and that's how dude caught hands. I'm like, why you jumping in, bro? You already knew she was acting a fool. Why did you stop it before it got to that point?
Right.
You knew that she. Well.
See, the thing is, people always bring up is mind your business. That's the loophole in the contract.
Right, but
mind your business.
Why aren't you minding your business now? I mean, you were minding your business before.
Exactly, that's the thing.
Right,
that's what I'm saying.
Cameras out looking for action.
Right.
You look and
now when you got the action, it's like, whoa, you can't hit her. Like, what you mean? The bitch was hitting on me.
Right.
Like, what? Am I not important?
And I walked away from her.
Exactly. That's the thing. Mind your business. I bet if I'm walking down the street, woman getting her ass beat by some dude, I'm not going to jump in. That could end my life.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if she actually started the goddamn fight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell,
Like,
half the time these niggas that be defending these women end up getting jumped by the
Pretty
guy
much.
and the girl.
Yep.
Like,
right.
my boyfriend's hurt me. You
Look.
beat his ass.
All right, bet. I'm gonna come save you, girl.
Don't touch my boyfriend.
Right.
And next thing you know, they both whooping your ass.
Hold on.
All right.
I have an extremely high survival instinct, so I want to do whatever is necessary for me to survive.
Right.
So if you touch me, I'm going to survive. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I am going to survive this. I'm going to survive this. That's all I'm going to say.
I will survive. I'm gonna survive.
Leave your hands away from me. Keep your hands to yourself. I will do the same. If you touch me, I'm going to survive. That's what I'm telling you.
I'll rip your asshole through your teeth. I talk about that type of shit at work too. I be like frustrated or something. I'm like, man, I just want to rip somebody's fucking face off the back of their asshole.
Like, seriously. Like, no, for real, don't touch me. Or else your lungs and your pancreas is going to rotate.
Hey, hit you so hard in your face and give you ass cancer.
No.
Hit you so hard in your eye, give you bow leg.
I don't play that game. I am like Vince. If you put your hands on me, I will survive.
I will survive.
That's all I can say. I will survive.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
I can't say the same for you. I don't know.
Get
Allegedly.
Previously on Judgement podcast. Allegedly. Nah, don't get me wrong, bro. Once I read those health books my mom had, the Human Anatomy, I was like, ooh, I can do this. I can do that. I can seriously do this. Like, and it kind of scares me. To this day, it kind of scares me because it's like I don't Hulk out as often, but it's still at the fact that I know it's like I could kill you if I wanted to. Like, I don't want to.
My mom is actually afraid the day that I flipped. She actually came out and said, I ain't even think she would ever say it. She's like, Donnie is way too calm. I would hate to see the day he actually loses his cool. Because nobody has ever seen me
Lose shit.
Lose
Well,
my cool.
but the point is though is nobody's ever pushed you to the point. Nobody spoke the bear and woke it up.
Right. No, I had plenty of people poke the bear. Well, shit. My dad's ex-wife.
But she didn't wake up the bear. You didn't go ballistic on her ass.
She woke. No. What she did is she poked the bear and ran. Because what she did was the last straw is what
Michael Jordan.
My sister. It took me 9 years to see my sister, mainly because of the fucked up relationship my pops had with her. Now she would go on to lie to this little girl for 17 years about who her father was, but have her visit a man who she portrayed as a stranger, but that was actually her father. But have her live with a man that's a stranger, but say that's her father.
Don't square up there. I don't let her.
So I met her when she was 9. Best experience of my life. My dad actually shedded a tear because it was the first time he was around all 3 of his kids. And he wanted nothing more than to have that moment. To be around, sit at the dinner